Hello there. Welcome back to another stream with dear friend here, Fabio. Thanks for coming on and taking your
Thank you.
time to do
Yep.
that.
Thank you for having me. As always,
And
appreciate it.
thank you. Before we start, just to say hi to people that have popped in the chat earlier. Silver Wings, hope you're doing well, man. Mr. Falcon, Aiden, TOTM, Lord Cosmo, Derek. Hey, Rich, hope you're doing well, man. I know you're asking him about a movie he had done that you were looking for. I'm not sure you found it. Like he had written a new
Well, it wasn't a new one. It was the other
older one.
movie that he did with Olivier Gruner, which you reviewed, but it was on YouTube, but I think it got taken down because I can't find it.
Okay.
It was called Executive
But yeah.
Protection.
Okay.
I know you.
Yeah,
I know you reviewed it. I think it was a paid request, but it was on YouTube and now it's not. So
You know what's sad? I don't even remember reviewing.
I know you did. I think he requested that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be drinking again. So
I know, of course, Sector, that one I did.
Mm-hmm.
Sector Protection. I don't know if I've seen that one.
I could have sworn you reviewed it.
Maybe, but the way I am, I probably did. I don't remember.
Right. I'm not making it up. It's not a Mandela effect. I'm not making it up.
You reviewed The Flash. No, you didn't.
Apparently I did. Because John was like, you reviewed it, didn't you? I'm like, I don't think that I did. Not that I'm aware of, unless my clone or something did it and I don't know. But I'm like, I didn't review it, dude. If I did it, that would have to be a pretty sizable paid request. Because, yeah.
I don't blame you for that. But hi to the people in the chat. DJ Mexicano, Alter Ego, Bobby. Hope you're doing well, Bobby. Thanks once again for the cap. Very nice gift. Mr. D-Man, Sam, Mike Jones, Drew Michael,
That's
Harry
not
Fan,
his real
Swede. Exactly. Cole, Attention Fan, thank you for the kind words. Sorry, I don't want to miss anyone. Mr. Falcon, Derek. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Aragorn, Julie. We're surviving the code. Hey, Mike, Mr. OCP. Hope you're doing well, man.
It's just a little cold. Just a little.
Congrats on meeting Peter Weller. Sorry, I know you mentioned you didn't get a chance to talk to him, but that's cool that you still met him. Saw you pictured. That's very cool.
Yeah, Mike Jones. I do, because actually I met Mike Jones at Chiller. So.
Oh. Mm-hmm. How was that? Did you guys just talk, or did you go?
Yeah, so it was kind of weird because he was in one of the rooms, because there they have multiple rooms with the guests in it, and I just walked in the room to see what the prices were, and he like looks at me. I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And he goes, "Wait, you're Fabio, right?" I'm like, yeah." And he introduced himself and everything. I think we took a picture, if I'm not mistaken. And we were laughing about some of the prices. I'm like, I'm not paying that, and and I walked out of the room because I was not paying $80 to meet Judy Aronson to talk about American Ninja. I'm good.
Yeah, I don't blame. I would not have paid either. Oh, okay, that's what happened. It was called Executive Protection. Matt reviewed it, but then he asked me to take it down because I divulged too many stories I probably should have repeated. Oh, okay. Now I remember that part now. Like, I don't remember the movie.
That makes more sense now. See, because I knew that you reviewed it. I'm not making it up.
Right. So, yeah. No wonder I couldn't remember it. I do remember, now you said that you did ask me to take it down, but hey, that's fine. Oh, Mike, you met a guy who watched your channel local shop? Very cool.
Cool.
Cheech is $100. I did not know that.
Yeah, he was charging that at Chiller, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to meet him that bad. Because Shatner's supposed to
And
do it in April, and he's probably going to charge the same thing.
yeah, or more,
And
maybe.
I'm not paying that. You're out of your mind. But he's only going to be there one day, so you know everybody's going to want to meet him that day.
No, I've never gone to a convention. Just hasn't happened, but it's okay. I'm not losing sleep over it. And no, I don't think anyone's requested Fabio a Mutant Mayhem rant.
No. But if you would like
Sure
to, you're more than welcome to. Don't be bashful now. Eureka said they're releasing Black Mask. That's cool. Hopefully there will be some new features. I like Black Mask.
Cool. And thank you, Perry Fan. And hi there, Predator. Hope you're doing well. Rich, one day when we all do a stream together, I'll tell the stories myself. Okay, so now you're fine with the stories coming out? Maybe you were worked with, it's like, shh, I don't want to get
Well, you will see him soon. He's gonna come on one of my streams soon here.
Very cool.
Yeah, we were chatting about that yesterday. You probably forgot about it because it was worse than Sector 4. Well, Sector 4 was pretty bad.
It was, and I do not remember a single minute of that EP movie.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, Julie, I agree. It's like Judy Aronson is famous for 3 movies. I'm not paying $80 for somebody that's famous for 3 movies. I can't do it. You're out of your mind. I'm not. I don't care.
And hi there, Jesse. Yes, Unlawful Entry did get a Blu-ray from Shout Factory. That is true. Mm-hmm. Don't have the Surviving the Game Blu-ray, so I think there are features on it, but I don't know how good or bad they are.
I'm not sure about that. But I agree with Mike. Starship Troopers did not need a franchise.
That's true.
Those sequels were god awful. The only good thing, the only good thing besides the first movie was all the animated stuff.
Okay, I haven't seen those. I've heard good things.
Yeah. No, Derek, I did not say that I met Mike Judge. I'd love to meet Mike Judge, but I have not met him.
No, Fabio said Mike Jones, the guy in the chat, not Mike Judge.
Not Mike Judge. For me, the top 3 worst movies I've ever seen, well, probably Halloween Kills would be on that list. I would definitely put Expendables 4 on there. And maybe for shits and gigs, Morbius. The last time that I would... Good God, I'm so excited I can't get the words out. The last time I rode a bike, I couldn't tell you. Damn.
Hi, the Jedizilla. And yeah, the Rich, your Worf Teeter saga is your favorite part of watching me all these years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's still funny.
I guess for those who are maybe confused and maybe newer to the channel, I reviewed a couple of the guy's movies. He did some pretty bad Jeff Speakman films, including one where the cover of the movie, everything was a lie. Nothing, Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And so I was honest because I like Jeff Speakman movies, but these were like 2 really bad ones. Now, whether it was the real guy or I don't know why you would pretend to be a nothing director, but some people are bored. He's like got mad, and I'm like, I think your movies suck. Maybe Jeff would say the same thing. I don't know, but sorry, not gonna lie. Those are pretty shitty Jeff Speakman films.
Well, he did direct episodes of Power Rangers, so I can't get that mad. But
Yeah.
well,
Stick to those.
I know. Memorial Day sucked.
Oh, thank you, Frame by Frame. If it's a request,
Sure.
I mean, go for it.
I mean, do I want to
We'll
watch it?
time.
No, but
But if you want to be that's up to you, Frame by Frame. But thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Cash grab directed video franchise. Well, the Sniper, I like the first 3 Snipers, and then Puppet Master, I like 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then that's it. So the first Puppet Master's because it's not really Puppet Master. And then they said they were done, and then they made more, and the rest after that sucked.
Can Fabio ride a motorcycle? Not that I know. I don't know.
I'm not aware that I have ever done that in my life, unless I was sleeping or something. I mean, remember that arcade game? It was that Harley Davidson arcade game. I rode that motorcycle. Does that count? I played that one.
Surprised they didn't do that for like a Terminator game where you just ride it and then you act like Arnold with the shotgun. That
would have been cool.
They had an arcade game of T2, but that'd be like a nice little addition.
Yep, it's a great game.
So you play in the arcade back in the day? T2?
That one, yeah. I played that several times in arcades and pizza parlors and stuff like that.
Did you get far?
No, I could never get past the first level. I would always die.
Thank you, Rapper Kirby.
Gizmo, the Tremors 2 Blu-ray from Arrow. Yes, definitely pick it up.
Yes, I haven't looked at the features, but the picture quality is very nice.
There you have.
Thank you, Swede. I have not heard of the film Spun, but thank you, Swede. And hey, Dark Metal Spider, hope you're doing well.
Well, unfortunately, I think Jeff Speakman has more bad movies than good movies, but if I had to recommend any, it would obviously be Perfect Weapon, Street Night, Deadly Outbreak, and Land of the Free. And you know what? I'll throw Running Red in there. The Expert's okay. I know that one director started it, another director finished it. The music is awful. Michael Shanner is not a good bad guy. But Jeff Speakman's good in it. It's just everything else is kind of shitty. But there is a cameo from Jim Varney, so you can't complain about that.
Yes, true. Playing a gun runner type of guy, very different role. Wish he was in it more. Daily Outbreak's the one with Ron Silver, also known as Daily Takeover. Perry fan. I think the last time I saw it was on Tubi. It might still be on there if you want to check it out.
It's on Tubi for free.
And no, I never played Crazy Taxi. I've heard of it. And thank you, Rat Hammer, for the kind words. Thank you.
Mike got a never was actor cursed him out. Fuck him. He's just mad. Fuck him.
Thank you, Dark Metal Spider. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, Tubi's a good service. Just stop making original movies, because
please. Well, I think Rich just worked on one. I think he just did one, but I'll watch that one because he wrote it. But the other ones I don't care about.
Well, as long as it's better than Hunting Games, the last one I saw, which was
I didn't see that review yet.
Nothing happened. Oh, that's fine. It's not much to the movie.
Yeah. Crazy Taxi is awesome. I have that on Dreamcast. But Crazy Taxi is a great game.
And that was on was that other than arcade, was it only Dreamcast for home?
No, it
console?
came out. I know it came out on PlayStation 2 as well.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it might have came out on GameCube. I'm not sure, but I know it definitely came out on PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay then. Cool.
Yeah, Mike, Alien 3 The Gun is way better than the movie. I think the Super Nintendo game is better than the movie.
Yeah, because they do maybe have some guns in there.
Yeah.
That would help. Not just do a crappy remake of the first film, but have everybody but the one asshole die.
Terminator 2, the
Just have the
arcade
one.
game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Not just they had the one jerk off live in Alien 3 for some reason.
Of course.
That was a good idea. You know,
I
the
think that,
rapist murderer.
yeah, I think that Pepsi commercial was better than the movie. That Pepsi commercial is awesome.
I remember that.
People get stuck on the third level with the truck. Oh, okay.
Drew Michael says Daily Upper is not on Tubi anymore.
That sucks.
Oh.
Oh, Rich has
Wonder how that
two
works.
Tubi. He has 2 movies coming out on Tubi. That's awesome. Well, it should be on YouTube for free.
Yeah, sorry, now I'm just checking.
That's all right. Yeah, it's on YouTube for free, but it's not in English.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well,
That's strange. Yeah, go ahead.
The trailer's on YouTube and it's remastered. That's weird. Fuck it, just buy it on VHS. Be normal. But I have it on VHS. Buy it on VHS.
On a side note, for that is infuriating because, like we talk about physical media, and other than VHS, that film's never been on DVD, except maybe like some random overseas that I have that might have been a bootleg, but it was like an overseas DVD from like years ago, and I never saw it pop up again. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have it on VHS and Laserdisc, and then I transferred the VHS to a DVD-R. So there you go. Yeah.
Which I'd never seen this ever again. So I don't know. That's the. So you know it's foreign. So that's the type of label there. German, I guess.
Maybe.
But yeah. And thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it, man. What? Did you know if I was married to Barbie?
Apparently I'm married to Barbie.
If I'm in that world, you might as well shoot me. I don't want to live in Barbie world. Fabio's did apples. Hope they're green apples.
I like apples. Apples are good.
Yeah, I don't want to live in that world. I want to live in I want to live in this world. I don't want to live in Barbie world or Pony world or I'll live in Bobby's world. The cartoon.
There we go.
Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it, man. You're always kind.
I'm glad you liked Midnight Man, Jesse, with Lorenzo Lamas. Cool. Glad you liked it.
Oh, okay.
A Tenchi fan said, yeah, I guess it's a he. If it's not, I'm sorry. He said he had Crazy Taxi on GameCube. Cool. I could have sworn it was on GameCube, too.
Thank you, Lucas, for the kind words.
Apparently, I have the Kurt Russell beard. Thank you.
I could see that. For like the Hateful Eight, I could see it.
No, The Thing.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah. Yeah, once in a while I use eBay, but not much. Because the last I used it, it was a game that was supposed to come from like the 5th to the 10th. It finally arrived like the 16th, so much for fast shipping.
I
And then
love
they
that.
said light due, but you look at the disc and there's like streaks and fingerprints, and then like the inner circles is like a little crack on it.
I
So
love
I'm like,
that.
oh, this is light new, huh?
That happened to me. I bought Point Break on Laserdisc, and there was water damage, and the disc was all dirty. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You expect me to pay for this? They're like, oh no, that's. I'm like, no, I'm not paying for this. Give me my money back. I said, you're out of your fucking mind,
And hey,
idiot.
Teotician Nunez, we're doing okay. We're surviving the weather as well as everybody. I'm sure by next year we'll be the day after tomorrow. Well, with
Yeah,
the way it's going.
the only Jeff Speakman movie that has a Blu-ray is Perfect Weapon, but that's out of print. And then Kino was supposed to put it out on 4K, and then you never heard anything about it again. But the reason why his aren't out there is because of the rights. Because different people own the rights and this and that and all that good
That's
shit.
why I wonder how Tubi works. Do they pay for a certain time to have a movie, or
Yes.
I don't know how Tubi works. Okay.
Yeah, it's just like cable back in the day. HBO would pay to have the movie for a certain period of time. It's the same thing. It's just now it's all on your phone and not on TV.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, and then like it was a lot dirtier than the pictures.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they show pictures, but they probably have pictures from like 5 days ago, and then we put it on. They like probably put it on with their balls or something. It's like, let me try to put it on with my balls and just have them stick together from the cold, and I'll drop the disc onto the fucking thing
Yeah.
just for shits and doodles.
These morons do that shit all the time. Brand new, and it shows up and it looks like it's been through a fucking hurricane. It's like, are you kidding me? What do you mean brand new? Oh no! It was brand new when I bought it. Oh, okay, sure. Well, then what
Yeah,
happened
hell, it's
between
moving.
here and there? Austin, which titles are you referring to for Shout Factory? Because I'm not seeing anything new on Dawn of the Discs on Facebook. So unless they haven't posted it yet.
Sorry, I haven't. Oh, I see. Are you talking about like the Shining Blu-ray, the miniseries, like
Oh
from
yeah,
like
that was
a
announced a
while
little
ago?
while ago. So, but yeah,
Maybe he means that.
who the fuck wants that?
And
I mean, I watched that miniseries when it premiered when I was a kid. I hated it. I still hate it. I'm like, this is supposed to be better than the movie. Oh, okay, sure.
I agree.
Oh
I
yes,
mean,
like I am so excited for the 4K of the Carrie remake.
and that Shining miniseries I did see as well because at the time we let me go on a tangent. I apologize to people. We
No
had like
tangents.
four channels:
We love your tangents.
ABC, CBS, PBS, and another form of CBS. I don't know why we had two CBSs, but for some reason we did. And so we would always like tape the Stephen King miniseries. And for the most part, I enjoyed each of them. And that was like maybe the first one I had seen that I'm like, this is shit. Like, it's topiary animals, like from Edward Scissorhands. And he's got a pogo, like, not pogo, but just what, like, really a mallet, not an axe. And that's a lot less intimidating. And the kids, like, got the flies ready to come in his mouth because that is, I know it's more like the novel. I don't care. It was horse shit.
Then I remember
It
there
was
was a
horse shit.
scene when he's like having the kid's like having a seizure or something on the toilet, and he like smacks his head off of the toilet. I'm like, oh my god, like why? This is that poor kid, like in real life, not even in the movie. Well, it's the bone that I have to pick with the Point Break 4K is there's no new features. It's like, why? Okay, it's in 4K, but there's no new extras. It's just the stuff from the DVD.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm not living in Point World. He's living in. Yeah, I'll stick.
I don't know what the hell world I'm living in, but.
Well, I mean, he's going to have some. I'll bring the mill yell. He'll bring the chainsaw.
I'm in. No, Street Night never got a DVD here in America. It only got a VHS and a laser disc. Because Canon Films.
I think these ponies need some lead in their diet.
I agree. I agree.
Thank you, Lucas. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember the. Okay, yeah, he asked this when Stallman Mark was on here. So we both did a fictional character, count down from 5, and decide who wins. So I guess we both think of a fictional character and like a versus. We say it, I guess, together, and then I guess it's up to the audience, like which character would beat the other character.
Okay.
So, 3, 2, 1.
John Connor. Well, that's easy.
Yeah, thank you, Justin.
Yeah, I've got Mike. I've gotten plenty of laser discs in the mail cracked, but I always get my money back because people don't know how to pack shit.
Yeah, we're staying warm. No fireplaces. At least I don't have a fireplace. So no,
I mean, I do in the other room.
Yeah, I can always tell campfire stories. Maybe not now, but nah, I never really been a part of a campfire story unless in movies. I've seen people play it, say, in movies, but I've never been part of one, to be honest. What do you say? I'm boring.
Yeah, Silver Wings, I don't buy anything on eBay unless it's an actual picture of the item. So, yeah. I don't. If it's a stock picture, I don't buy it because you never know what you're going to get.
And no, Cam, I've never even heard of the Wolf House. I don't know what that is. Sorry.
Perfect Weapon 4K is still on their list. They are sending out for marketing. I think it's probably going to come out later this year. Well, cool. But they were supposed to do that. They were supposed to do Sudden Death, Uncle Buck, and then you didn't hear anything about it anymore. Yeah, Tubi operates basically like cable, like HBO. They license movies for a certain period of time. Of course.
Preliminary, I like the Child's Play remake. I don't need a 4K of it.
No.
It's a pretty new movie. The Blu-ray picture quality looks good enough. And not every film I need on 4K.
Why would you need a 4K of it when it was shot in 4K? Because it came out in 2019, so.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about these newer films that are shot in 4K. They already are in 4K. What do you need a 4K disc of a movie that's already shot in that aspect, or the resolution, excuse me? I think Tubi is the video store of the modern day. You're not wrong about that, Rich.
Hey,
Preston,
John. Cool. Hope you're doing well.
Preston, it is currently 17 degrees here. So it's cold. It's very cold.
Let me check here.
Tubi has a lot of 80s slashers. True, they had Blood Rage, but they took Blood Rage off. Bastards.
Well, it's freezing here. apparently says it's 49 degrees.
Oh my God, that's like summer weather where you're at. My cousin, her husband is stationed there in Texas, and they closed because it was like 38 the other day. They closed all the schools. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Sally, I mean, the weather is about a typical Iowa day back in the day. It's just Sally with Texas. Another tangent. They have this stupid power grid thing because
Mm-hmm.
we're so special from the rest of the country. I'm like, your specialty is fucked because then you don't have enough power, and then you'll purposely shut people's power off to give it to other people for like 5 hours, or then
Yep.
you'd switch. And I hate that shit. I mean, maybe fix the shit.
Yeah,
'Cause it
because
ain't
that's what happened a
obviously
couple
working.
years ago, and everything got fucked up,
Yeah.
and people got
Oh yeah.
killed, and
Oh, I was here like
stupid.
2 weeks with barely any, with like no power for like 2 weeks and
Mm-hmm.
freezing. So that was fun.
Stupid.
Hey, I live in one. Hope you're doing well, man. Yes, I did know that. It came out. It is available by means of whatever you fit. It's called One More Shot. Haven't seen it, but it is out there.
I know where
If
it's
you
at.
want, so do I. But I have not seen it. Apparently, people are not liking it, but I like the first one more than the other people. I might be one of those like easy suckers on it. So I don't know. Well, who knows? But
I heard a couple few people told me they liked it, so
oh,
I'm like, and I like
I
the
will
first one. I like the first one. So I'll check it out. You know.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that gimmick. I do.
No,
Because I
Rich.
watch so many movies.
Right. I am not snowed in, but we did get hit yesterday with a few inches, but I'm not snowed in. So thank God.
And thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it, man. Uh, coolest Independence Day classic. Not a fan of Pacific Rim Job, but that's just me. I like rim jobs, just not from the Pacific. Maybe the Atlantic Ocean, maybe Indian Ocean. GMK, cool Godzilla film. I definitely recommend it to Fabio. I don't know if
I have it
that's
over
a
here.
cool one. Jurassic Park, I enjoy. Willy's Wonderland, enjoy. Cool, Hard Target, Rambo 2, Rambo 3. Great
And
choice.
2.
Underrated. Rambo 3, very underrated. Never understood the hate for it. Glad to see that gets some more.
Neither have I. Rambo 3 was always my favorite.
And thank you, KOTM. Better movie cat. Wow. I will, for me, say Jim Carrey just because I like some of Adam's series films, but Jim, I do like The Truman Show, and what was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. And then the comedy, like Ace Ventura 1 and 2, Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar, the Sonic the Hedgehog films. And while I haven't liked every Jim Carrey film, there's not a whole lot he has done that's on the level of like Jack and Jill or That's My Boy or The Ridiculous Six, which someone tried to tell me that was a satire. I'm like, yeah, it was a satire for how much a movie sucks dick. I'm like, you're using the word satire for that fucking movie? No.
Did you watch the same movie that everybody else did?
But how about you?
I agree. I think Jim Carrey has the better filmography. And also, they let him do more serious stuff sooner. Like with Truman Show. Even Cable Guy was a little more serious. It's still a comedy, but, it's a dark comedy. They let him, because they realized how good of an actor he was, and they let him kind of expand. Even like, what was that movie? A Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't think much of the movie, but he was good in it. Because I like the books.
Oh, let me stick with
okay. Yeah, and he was perfect for that character. So, yeah, I got to go with Jim Carrey. because especially more recent Adam Sandler movies, most of them suck. Jim Carrey, yeah, he's kind of dropped off a little bit, but at least when he makes a movie, he actually tries. Adam Sandler just phones it in at this point because he just wants to go on vacation somewhere.
And thank you, I Live Again One. I appreciate it, man. I did see it. For those who don't know, I forget the person's name, but they're doing a short film where Pauly Shore is playing Richard Simmons. It's called The Court Jester. There's a trailer, and then Richard Simmons came out and said, I didn't say yes to this. I'm a private guy. I just want to enjoy my life. I guess they're doing a short film, but I definitely I haven't said yes to any official film. And then Pauly Shore was like, well, we hope that we make this, and then he sees it, and maybe he'll get on board. I don't think that's going to happen.
Not after he said no. I mean, it's like, come on now. What do you expect?
If Richard Simmons was on board, I'd be curious because I'd be curious if Pauly Shore doing something different. But I mean, the fact that the guy's like, I don't want you to tell my life. Leave me alone. It's like, I respect the guy's wishes. You know. Or, I mean, if you really need to do it that badly, just play a different character, but you have similar tapes on it, and then go on from there. I don't know. So.
Right.
But to do it behind Richard Simmons' back is a bit shitty, in my opinion, you know.
Storm of the Century. Cool. Craig Baxley directed that. I think he said that was his favorite project that he directed.
Sorry about that, Psycho Hobo. We'll hope your finger gets better. You accidentally smashed it.
We've all been there.
Right. Is Fabio going to pick up the True Lies 4K in March?
No. No, I will not.
I will say, if you look closely in some sites, maybe, I can't say what they are, but
I mean, the one that I have over here in the corner is fine, and it's a bootleg, and I don't care.
And I was thankful to watch some 35mm versions of Aliens and True Lies, and they look great. So
I have a 35mm version of True Lies. So.
Yeah, I definitely recommend Aliens because it's got the original color. That looks really cool.
Like it's supposed to. And I know people are whining about that. It's like, shut up.
I mean, I know they would never do this, but I kind of wish a studio would like make that like a separate series, like release 35mm on disc. I know they would never do it. I'm just saying that'd be something I'd be curious of. Because actually, maybe because I'm so used to now these movies being so clear, almost too clear. I'm kind of now in the vein of I want to see them in their original state, 35mm, not fucked with.
As they were meant to be seen. Exactly.
So.
Oh, yeah, the Guyver. Mike said the Guyver. That's getting a special edition, which I'd be curious for the extras because Steve Wang is on there. And then I didn't know this, but a book just came out about the Guyver movies. I'd like to pick that up.
Oh, okay, then. Hopefully they do the sequel.
Yeah, it's about the book is about both of the movies, and it has all these behind the scenes pictures and concept art and stuff in there, which should be pretty cool. But yeah, I agree. Guyver 2 needs a Blu-ray.
And yeah, I Live Again 1. I did see the trailer to Spaceman. It's cool that Adam Sandler was doing something different. I mean, am I in a rush to see it? No, but I'd rather see him try to do stuff like that than another Netflix comedy. So
I didn't see the trailer, but I'd be curious to check it out because it's something different.
Yeah, so I can appreciate it, and it's pretty much. Long story short, he's a guy in space that's been out there for too long on a mission. He wants to go back home to see his wife, but he's not allowed. He's isolated out there, and then some creature comes by and kind of helps him out, and like a bit more dramatic. Interesting idea. I can
Cool.
appreciate that.
Well, in my opinion, Jedi, the best martial arts film is Enter the Dragon. The worst, I couldn't tell you because there's a shit ton of bad ones out there.
What was that question? The best and worst.
He asked the best and worst martial arts films. Again, my pick for best would be Enter the Dragon.
Worst, I'll say Pocket Ninjas.
You know what? I agree. That was awful.
If you can't play a Game Boy and just put the Game Boy game in it, and the guy's playing it, but you clearly see the Game Boy game's not in it, so you're just playing a Game Boy with no game in it.
Yeah,
and
like
from the back.
Rumble in the Bronx. He gives the kid a Game Gear and there's no game in it, and he's playing it. That makes sense.
Well, I mean, that is a weird dimension. It's New York, but there's mountains in the background, so it's not.
Because they shot it in Canada. Guyver 2 has some kind of rights issues. Of course it does. Tubi lost all the Death Wish movies. That sucks. Whoever, I agree. Whoever invented TikTok should be locked up. Completely agree.
Lucas, no, I would never give that. If someone put in a request, I follow all the way through because it's the least I could do. And yes, certain ninjas did have a kid playing a game, and then there were video games.
The game was in the system in Surf Ninjas. You can't argue that.
Exactly.
But the game in the movie was nothing like the game that actually came out.
And then there was a game for Game Gear on Surf Ninjas.
There was, and there was supposed to be one for Sega Genesis as well, but they never finished it. It never came out.
Okay. No problem. I live it in one. Have a good night, man. Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah, Lord Cosmo, I'm fine. I'm just cold. I'm used to it. I've lived on the East Coast my entire life. I'm used to it.
Most underappreciated Dolph Lundgren film? There's a lot of them. That's tough.
I'd probably have to say Men of War. Men of War, number one, it should have went to theaters. And number two, it should be much bigger than it is.
Yeah, that'll be my choice as well. It looks like a theatrical film. It was meant to be a theatrical film. It should have been.
They dumped it on video.
Which is too bad.
Fuck the Weinsteins. For many reasons.
Yeah. God.
Goodfellas or Casino, I gotta go with Goodfellas. That's just me.
Oh yeah, Batman Forever. That was an awful video game. There's a reason why I quit that one, because the level when you're trying to find the bomb and it's like these hidden places that there's no way to know where to go, and then you're on a time limit, and then it's like, oh, sorry, game over. What? No continue. Oh, fuck this shit.
I didn't like that game as a kid.
God. Piss me off. Showing Little Tokyo is a good movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jim Carrey, to me, has had a flat-out mental breakdown. He's been through a lot. That could be true. I don't know. I don't know the man, but that could be possibly true.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I don't agree with all the shit that he says when he's going on and on and on about certain people. It's like, enough. I don't care. And, you know, when he did when he did Kick-Ass 2, and then he was like, well, the movie shouldn't come out because it's about gun violence. It's like, well, then, number one, why did you do the movie? And number two, if you feel that way, why don't you give the money back? Just saying. It's like, how can you...
Yeah.
You read the script, did you not? So...
Oh, he did, yeah.
And then I love it. I love when these actors try to virtue signal, and it's like, whatever.
And that's cool that you got the Game Gear Surf Ninja Silver Wings. That's very cool. Again, I've never even played it. And oh, cool, you play Batman Forever as well. Yeah, it's a pretty annoying game.
Terrible game. The arcade game was decent, but the Super Nintendo, the home game, was terrible. I didn't like that as a kid. That game sucked as a kid when it came out. And there's loading times on a cartridge. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I didn't get that either. Does this digitize afterwards?
Yeah, I don't take Pauly Shore seriously because he's a dick. That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Mike, I did hear that they're trying to get The Rock to come back at WrestleMania. Who cares?
And thank you, Psycho Hobo. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I've heard of Far Cry Blood Dragon. Michael Biehn voicing the main character, 87-point feel, one-liners, short. I've heard of it. I just never played it. But yeah, it seems like a fun game. Just Michael Biehn alone as the lead.
There you go.
I'm down for it. So that's very cool. Can't go wrong with that.
Yep, 35 millimeter. And Mike, you remember when we talked to Sam Furstenberg, I brought up 35 millimeter, and he said, "Oh yeah, that's how all movies should be shot, in my opinion. Fuck IMAX, fuck 70 millimeter. Who cares?"
What was the last film you saw in a theater that was 35 millimeter?
Oh God!
Not in a theater then. Or I don't know if there's places that project it in that way, or do they? I guess they all just go digital.
There is, but not around here.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, not around here. I mean, the last movie that I saw in 35 millimeter was probably maybe Expendables, because it was probably still film prints in 2010. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Austin. The Terminator, the Ultimate Wax 4K. Can't wait for that. James Cameron will use AI for that and fuck that up too.
No, I don't have any thoughts on 65 millimeter. I don't think I've seen anything in 65 millimeter, so I can't say it.
Robo Vampire is pretty bad, yes.
Oh, you're in Puerto Rico. That's cool. Have a good night, man.
Must be nice.
I should ask, how is in Puerto Rico weather-wise? If I could ask before you leave.
It's nice and warm.
How is in Puerto Rico? What I think about the video games Time Cop and Steven Seagal's the file option when talking about digitized. Time Cop I only played a little bit. I don't remember much. Steven Seagal one's not finished, but even if it was finished, it would be very bad. But it's funny that you play a Seagal and what you do, and then he's going to like these weird factories where there's like people and canisters and like all this crazy shit. I mean, back to the day, if he did a movie like that, I probably would watch it, but it was a weird game. I mean, but it wasn't finished, so
yeah,
pretty warm most of the
life. I tried playing that, both of those games. Time Cop, it was like okay, it's just not that good of a game, but Yeah, that Seagal game. Again, it's not finished, obviously, but the controls are really wacky, and it's not a good game. And again, even if it was finished, yeah, no, fuck that.
You do a lot of this. The
Yeah,
bad guys.
it's weird. Yeah, Doom on Super Nintendo is pretty bad. John Eraserhead, I never saw. I've actually not seen that, and I don't know anything about Jack Nance.
Oh, yeah, that's the lead after Eraserhead. Yeah, it's just very weird movie. Doesn't really make any sense. Oh, that's cool, Alex. You received X-Files book guide about the series. Very cool. I remember having those back in the day. Sadly, they got lost in the move years ago. But I do remember those. Those were a lot of fun to look through.
Yeah, I think I have the first four.
Oh, okay.
In the other room.
Nice.
And then somebody asked me recently if I had any of like the novels. I think I have one of the X-Files novels that they did. Triple H, even if he didn't marry Stephanie, I think he would be in a similar position to what he is in today. But I've never really disliked his work in the ring because to me, he always tried to get better. He always tried to change and do something different. Personally, from what I hear, he used to be a real dick, but he calmed down. So I guess that's why Ken Shamrock's going in the Hall of Fame. I guess they made amends. But I've never disliked Triple H as a performer. I know a lot of people don't like him for various reasons, but I never had a problem with him. And again, I don't know him personally. I never met the guy, so I can't comment on that.
Oh, thank you, Bobby. Other than Jurassic Park, what's your favorite dinosaur film? For me, it's The Beast from 20,000 Phantoms and Valley of the Grange. So, favorite dinosaur films? The Carnosaur sequels I like, Carnosaur 2 and 3, especially Carnosaur 3 with Scott Valentine. That's a fun one. That's a fun. I wish those would get Blu-ray, the sequels.
Carnosaur 2 was supposed to, and it never happened.
But those, like, while they're low budget, it's R-rated dinosaur fun, and Carnosaur 3 is pretty much soldiers versus dinosaurs, like a very low budget aliens, but it's on a boat. And I like Scott Valentine ever since I saw him in My Demon Lover. So that I would say I'll pick those. There may be others, but those are ones that popped in my head because there's not a lot of R-rated dinosaur movies, sadly. Not counting Sci-Fi Channel bullshit.
Scott Valentine was also he was the voice of the Phantom on the Phantom 2040 cartoon.
Oh yeah, I always forget that.
That show had an amazing voice cast.
Yeah, we're talking. Who was on the voice cast?
It was Margot Kidder voiced the villain. Ron Perlman voiced one of the villains. Debbie Harry was it? I think Debbie Harry from Blondie. She voiced the character. Leah Remini was on there. Adrian Paul from Highlander voiced the villain. There was a lot of big names that were on that cartoon.
Cool.
Yeah, Alan Oppenheimer, Skeletor, he voiced one of the main characters. The real Oppenheimer.
I had checked that out. I've never seen that cartoon. I've heard people say it, but did it last
I think they're all here on YouTube. I think.
Oh, cool. I will do that sometime. And thank you, Lucas. Well, whatever weapon Fabio would win because he's had experience.
I don't know about all that. I suck.
But think of a realistic weapon. Sniper rifle.
Yeah, I'm dead.
And if I were use a bazooka and shoot me in the face.
I don't know about all that.
So I think Fabio would win no matter what weapon. I don't wear mark class. But I will say on one thing, Lucas, if I had an opportunity to try a weapon, it would be a sniper rifle because I've never shot one. I'd be curious to study how to utilize it correctly and how to, because you can't just pick up and do it, obviously. So
Nope.
I'd be very curious to how that all worked. And anytime I like play a game, that's like the weapon I'm very curious about. So I'd be curious to check out in the real world, so to speak, and safety with Alec Baldwin nowhere near me.
Yes, please.
You don't shoot me. And yes, to answer your question, Darth Gold Dust. The last movie I saw, Jill Valentine was a nobody in it, but it's also the same movie where Leon Kennedy was a pussy who looked like his hair looked like Tony Khan. Now that I think about it, and he from AEW, Tony Khan, and like he shot his boss in the ass, and he just been fed of like. No, that character's never been done well in a movie. Maybe animated, but that's what they do. It's Paul W. Anderson needs more room for his poontang pie, just as Bill Jovich doesn't need more work than Paul doesn't need more work in the bedroom. So there you go.
Fuck all the Resident Evil movies. But yeah, I just checked. All of Phantom 2040 is here on YouTube for free.
Very cool.
All the episodes are here on YouTube. Austin, I don't know if Iron Claw was shot on film.
Okay.
Oh God, that's well for me. The person I would like to meet the most is probably Chuck Norris. That's just me, even though he's not a director. What would I ask? I have a million questions I would like to ask him. But if it could be just one, Oh, if it could just be one, how come you never do interviews for your DVD? You never did interviews for your movies for DVD or Blu-ray. What is the real reason behind that? Because I hear conflicting things. I would love to know what the reason is.
And thanks, Mike. Before I get to answer someone else, no, I've never shot a gun. I just never had the opportunity. And then when I think of it, then something else comes up, and then I forget. And then it's like, one day I would like to. There's no shooting ranges around here. I'd have to go pretty far. I would like to one day. What are all the weapons you've tried out in your life that you have?
The first gun I ever fired was a shotgun. So I shot 12 gauge shotgun. In the Army, I had a M4 assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle. They're all rifles. Shot that. I shot the 240 Bravo, which sucks, which is a machine gun. The 249 Saw, which is a machine gun that I like. 50 caliber machine gun. We had the Beretta 9mm. I have a Glock, so I've used Glock. I have a 1911, so I've shot 1911s. I shot a mortar because that was my job. We got to try out the brand new grenade launchers when I was in basic training, but unfortunately we never had any of those, which they're now on the side. They're like a giant pistol. It's not underneath anymore like in the old movies. I think that's it.
Well, and real quick, like, no shooting ranges in Texas? Not around this area, Bay City. I know they're like everywhere, but here, I did check one time, and if I want to do skeet shooting, which like I don't want to do skeet shooting. That's the only thing. Is like you're in the middle of nowhere, and then you look at the reviews. It's like 3 out of 5 stars. Like, do I want to trust people that maybe don't know what they're doing?
That don't know what they're doing, and then you end up like, you know. other people.
They'll give me some. They'll give me some and blow up in my hands.
Yeah.
Uh,
You got plenty of space.
so
Just go out in the middle of nowhere and shoot. Nobody will bother you. It's Texas.
yeah, that's true. Thank you, Mike. What actor director would you like to meet the most, and what would you ask them? So I guess actor or director. You say either or. That you like to meet. Well, I know Fabio, you've met quite a few actors. So I guess is there one that you like to meet one day? I know you
Chuck
mentioned
Morris.
some in your
Chuck Morris
thing.
is at the top of the list. He would be number
That
one.
makes sense. And what would you ask them? If you had,
Why
like,
do you not
one or
do
two questions?
interviews? Like for your DVDs and your, how come you've never done a commentary? You've never done interview? Like, what is the reason for that? Because I hear conflicting reports about it. I hear that he doesn't want to. I hear that he does, but nobody ever asks him. So I don't know.
I guess for me, God, if I only had to pick one, that would be tough. I don't know, because it's hard. It'd be hard for me to choose. I'll come back to that one. Sorry. I'll say Van Damme and ask him about Hard Target, since
Now,
he
what are
wasn't
his thoughts
interviewed.
now?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the film now? And have like a good conversation, like what happened during it, all that stuff.
He almost got killed doing that movie. He did. Yancey Butler said they were doing the scene with the dirt bike, and the dirt bike almost killed them because it spun out of control. And she said, luckily, he is as strong as he is, and he like kicked it out of the way. They both ended up going to the hospital, but everything was okay, thank God.
As Hobo, I mean, I've seen that film, so I already know what I'd be going for. So if you want to, be my guest, man. But I've seen the film, and it's mostly you just see a lot of like shadows and stuff. Yeah.
Skinamarink?
I mean, it's better than Skinamarink. I'll say that.
Well, there you go.
At least
anything's
I'll
better
put it
than
that
that.
way.
Rat
yeah.
Hammer, I have seen High School High many years ago.
That's a fun one, John Lovitz.
Yeah, I don't mind that. John Lovitz is coming to Monster Mania. That should be fun.
Do you think you would meet him there?
Yeah, I would love to meet him. I would love to meet John.
What would you ask him if you could?
I want to shake his hand and say the best thing you ever did was knock out Andy Dick.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know that story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was right after Chris Farley died. They were at a bar or something, and Andy Dick said something about Chris Farley, and John Lovitz knocked him out. So I'm like, that's my kind of guys. So, yeah, I would definitely just shake the man's hand and just say, hey, I just want to let you know I appreciate you knocking out Andy Dick. So that's what's up.
First off, thank you, Psycho Hobo. You have a good night. Martin Cruz, hi there. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Fallen, for the kind words. Good luck on your reviews, man. And Connor, you're welcome. Yeah, I like Delivers from Evil. Eric Bana did a really good job. I liked him as a cop going against like demonic forces. That was cool. That's an interesting thing. I've never seen that before. I didn't know you could do that.
Is everything okay?
His computer just froze it in time.
Do we need to send assistance?
And hey, Kyle, hope you're doing well.
I agree, John. Timothy Oliphant was a terrible choice to play in the Hitman movie. And then that other one they made was terrible.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Civil Wings, for letting me know on that.
Yeah, John. Somebody told me that not Kurt Russell, Michael Bihn's like tired of talking about who directed Tombstone.
Hmm.
But we all know who did it. We all know who really directed the film. And then someone else told me they like Michael Biehn said he doesn't smile a lot when he takes pictures with people. He smiled when I took a picture with him, I guess because I was being nice, but I don't know. He was very nice. Him and his wife were very nice to me, so I can't complain.
You did a video meeting him. I like talking about how you met him, right?
Yeah.
So, what did you ask him about? Sorry, I forget. Or did you just shake his hand and just talk?
No. I asked him a couple things. The first thing I said was, I've been waiting for this day for a long time because I've always loved your work as an actor. You're so underrated. You should have been a much bigger star. And he just had this big smile on his face. He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "A lot of that was my fault, though." And of course, he has talked about it in the past with alcohol and stuff like that. He goes, "But I can't really complain because I've had a great career." And I said, "I wish you were in The Rock more." He goes, "Yeah, I do too, but at least I got to work with Sean Connery." I'm like, "Well, there you go." And he said Sean Connery was great. And then I brought up Time Bomb. I said Time Bomb was a really cool movie. And he goes, "Oh, thank you." He goes, "Nobody ever brings that movie up." I'm like, "Well, I try to be different." And I said Hicks and Kyle Reese are two of the greatest characters ever written. And he stopped me. He goes, "You're the first person to ever tell me that." He goes, "You are absolutely correct." He goes, "The way that they were written," he goes, "but James Cameron trusted me to bring those to life." He goes, "But you're the first person to ever say that, and you are absolutely correct." And I shook his hand, and we took a picture, and that was it. And he was nice to me. I can't complain.
Do you remember how much he cost?
He is the most that I ever paid. It was $110 for an autograph and a picture with him. But to me, I'm like, it's Michael Biehn. I've been waiting for this forever, so I'll pay it and can't complain. It was a good experience.
Cool.
Can't help it. I love Michael Biehn. Carnosaur 3 is the first R-rated movie my parents ever let me rent. That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool, Rich. That's a good choice. Yeah, get that film on Blu-ray.
And I have a copy of Carnosaur 3 recorded off the Sci-Fi Channel. We'll get that transferred to DVD before the tape runs out.
What would you say is Michael Biehn's most underrated film? Would it be that Time Bomb that you mentioned?
Time Bomb, maybe Time Bomb. But I mean, I guess The Abyss is not underrated, but his performance in The Abyss is underrated because he got to play a bad guy. I've always felt that way. But maybe Time Bomb, because that movie was just so unique and it was so cool, and it didn't do anything when it came out, unfortunately. But I was really dug that movie.
Oh, okay.
And that was supposed to be Chuck Norris, but it didn't happen.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Yep.
That was supposed to be Chuck Norris, and then for whatever reason, he ended up not doing the movie, and then Michael Biehn picked it up.
Yeah, Fabio did meet Sarah, the girl from The Crow. That's right. And
yes,
he talked about one of his videos that it was a very lengthy, good conversation.
Yeah, I talked to her for like a half an hour. She was just so nice, and she was just so giving with her time. And I mean, and nobody came up to the table either. But no, she didn't have to be that nice and everything, but she was really cool. I agree. Van Damme is an underrated actor because Van Damme got better as he went along. He tried to get better. So can't blame the guy.
Sorry, just looking up. Don't go too far in the woods. You might get deliverance. Nah,
I don't know
not
about
me. Not me.
that.
They would look at me and they'd be afraid I would deliverance them.
That's right.
That would.
Fuck 'em.
I'm the guy playing the banjo.
That's right.
I'm
It
the
ain't
dude
it.
playing the banjo with another dude.
That's right. Yeah, Jedi. I have a bunch of the Buffy and Angel books actually because when I lived in Colorado, the one Entertain Mart, I would go in there and get them for like $1. So I got a bunch of those really cheap. So I have them in the other room. Yeah, Neopunk. That's a really good idea. Michael Biehn would have been a great Cable. I never thought of that.
I just see that.
Fuck it. I'm with Mike. I don't care. I like Navy SEALs. I just got it on Laserdisc. I don't care. It's a good movie.
What would I say if I met Kevin Smith? I would not beat him. If I had a toothpick, I'd be like Razor Ramon and just walk
Right.
away.
Fuck 'em.
Go say goodbye to that guy, Kevin Smith.
Well,
Spit.
Yeah, Neopunk. Her name is Rochelle Davis is her name. The girl that was in The Crow. She had nothing but amazing things to say about Brandon Lee. Just everything that you could imagine he was like. And Michael Wincott, not so much. But oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Biehn is Cable. I could definitely. I never thought of that before. I could definitely see that.
Takashi McCabe, not really big on him as a director. I know people like his stuff, not for me. And Christopher, both. I guess you meant your favorite Michael Biehn role. For me, it would be Hicks from Aliens.
Yeah, because he gets to live, unlike Terminator. But he didn't in Terminator. He didn't die in vain, so I guess it doesn't matter. But it is nice that he gets to survive in Aliens. So, and I don't know. He was a little bit cooler as Hicks because he didn't really talk much. He didn't really want to be the leader, but he kind of had to. And then he gets to shoot some aliens in the face. So yeah, he was a little cooler as Hicks.
That's cool. Mike says I was actually friends with Rochelle on Facebook on my last account. She was going through some tough times. Well, that's too bad. Well,
yeah, we had we had discussed some things in our conversations, and I was like, oh my god, but we all go through tough times, but some of us more than others, unfortunately.
Hey, General, hope you're doing well. Hey, Fabio, hey, Matt, saw The Beekeeper. Fantastic non-woke action movie. Really good. That's cool.
Cool.
Glad you enjoyed it. I've not seen it myself, but very cool. I'll ask one question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to try to go see that soon here.
I'll ask one question. Did the trailer give away all the action?
Probably.
If you can remember the trailer. I know, I have to ask.
Because that's just how trailers are.
Yeah, that's true.
Alex, I love Buffy and I love the X-Files, so can't complain. Yeah, he is. Yeah, Buffy. He is also John Connor's dad, so there's that.
Yeah, Buffy I remember seeing when I was after school. When I would get home from school, it would always pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Like Buffy, Babylon 5, and like one or two others, like every day. So within like a summer, you see like the whole show because like every day, 5 days a week, it would show that. That's what Sci-Fi Channel used to do, not anymore.
Yeah, the reruns. I forget that X-Files was on Sci-Fi Channel. I don't know why I forget that. They would show the reruns on there. back in the day. What's up, Lord Firebird?
I would say half the action is in the trailer. Cool. So would you say it's a lot of action in the movie then? X-Files Blu-ray's out of print. I'm not surprised. Need to get Millennium on Blu-ray.
Yeah, seriously. And The Lone Gunman. It was only one season. Come on. But when that first came out, it was fucked up, the X-Files, and then they fixed it. But it's out of print already? That's weird. You would think that they would keep that in because it's really popular.
Unless they want to force people to watch on a streaming service, so they kind of hold stuff hostage.
You think?
Yeah. Sadly, people don't believe that they do that kind of stuff, though.
No, they do. It's like they do it on purpose, and people just don't get it. Like The Office. The Office, I think they're taking it off Netflix this year or next year, and everybody got upset. I'm like, you could just buy it on Blu-ray and you can watch it whenever. It's not complicated. But that costs money. So does you having a Netflix subscription, and that you have to pay every month.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I the only one in this room? Bueller? No, I would not want to meet John Cena.
Me neither.
Yeah, Buffy you can get on DVD for peanuts. You can get it super cheap now on DVD. I remember when those first came out, they were so expensive. Same with Star Trek. When Star Trek first came out on DVD, those sets were nuts. Now you can get them for nothing. Yeah,
they will reboot Buffy one day.
They will. That's what I was just. They will. They're going to make it super woke. Buffy will be gay. It's it's not gay enough. They'll make it more gay.
Yeah, so and Angel will be female as well.
Yep, Angel will be a girl and it'll be lesbians, and just as long as there's nudity, I'm in. That's right, Lord Firebird. In Australia, it's the summertime. It's opposite.
But they would never show nudity, so it'd be all for naught. So
I mean, I don't know, because what they put on TV today is far greater than what was on TV when we were kids. When we were kids, it was, oh my God, you can't show this, and you can't, and Spider-Man can't disturb birds when he lands on a rooftop, and it's like, good
I
God.
I think if they did Buffy, it'd be more like that Batgirl show.
It would.
It'd be in that vein.
It would.
They wouldn't be shit in it.
TV shows on Blu-ray tend to go to out of print faster. I've noticed they print limited runs, and it costs a lot more to make them, and they tend not to sell as many copies. I can see that. I get that. Like Star Trek: The Next Generation, apparently that cost $20 million to remaster it all, and they didn't even make a fraction of what they spent. I'm like, well, of course they didn't, because the only people that are buying it's people like us, and it's not 2003 anymore when everybody's buying DVDs. General, Better Tomorrow 1 and 2. I like the second one more than the first one, but I like the first. I like both of those. I don't count the third one because it's not John Woo and he got fired for no reason, and fuck that third one. But the first two are classics.
And yes, Buffy will be played by that girl from Last of Us Part 2. The butch.
Something like that. Or Zendaya.
Or both.
Buffy on DVD looks fine, but Star Trek looks terrible. Of course it does. Spike will be a female. That's what it'll just be. They'll reboot Buffy, and there will be no men. Everyone will be a female. They'll all be lesbians. It'll be gay. It's just how it is. Yeah, Spider-Man
Fabio's
punch.
I remember that. It was.
I gotta do a video. I have the book. The book is in the other room, but I gotta do a video about that book and show the pages where it says Spider-Man can't do this, Spider-Man can't do that. It's in that book.
What's the book called?
Actually, you know what? I'll just go get it.
Sure.
It's not far.
If the new Buffy was made by Stars, is Stars even a thing nowadays? Last time I heard of Stars was that Evil Dead show. I never even hear of Stars anymore. They are gonna reboot X-Files. Yeah, apparently She-Hulk got canceled. It's so good. Should never been made in the first place. You want to see some steroid dumbass bitch and terrible CGI making the Hulk a cuck?
Fuck She-Hulk. I had no clue that the lady that plays She-Hulk was in the second Ginger Snaps movie. No idea. It's called Spider-Man Confidential, From Comic Icon to Hollywood Hero.
Okay, 1 second.
This is the book.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And what year did this come out? I don't even remember where I got this. 2002, so clearly it's outdated. But let me...
So is that about the comic books as well? Is that strictly the
cartoon? No, it's about... Yeah, it's about the comics. There's a... part one is about the comics, and then it has a checklist of the Amazing Spider-Man and the Marvel team-up checklist. And then the second part is about the TV shows and the cartoons. And then the third part is about the making of the movie, because this had come out when they were making the movie.
Okay.
And again, I don't even remember where I got this. But I swear there is a list in here. Or maybe it's... Maybe I passed.
Yeah,
I think there's a list. It says like what they could and could not do. Or maybe it's in the back of the book.
While he's looking it up, let me look. Yeah, go ahead.
And one of them was Spider-Man cannot disturb any birds when he lands on rooftops.
How dare he?
I know. It's like, don't disturb the birds, Spider-Man.
Does the bird have rights too?
That's right. Bird lives matter or some shit.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, there's a picture of Lucy Lawless in here because she filmed a cameo that ended up not being in the movie. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, so they have a picture of her in here, and there's a little write-up that says that she had a cameo, and I think they cut her cameo out of the film.
Huh. And for those who don't know, of course, Lucy Lawless was Xena, Warrior Princess.
Hell
which
yeah.
Sam Raimi had a hand in producing.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's not in here.
Let's see.
I'm a liar. Remember, all I do is lie.
What's my favorite Star Trek film? Mine would be Star Trek 4. That's the one I watched the most growing up.
Me too.
Can we cancel the Ray Skywalker film? I wish, but
If it was only that easy.
that would be nice, though. Those type of rules are why Superman 64 turned out to be a mess. Yeah, among other reasons. Like, Superman can't do this, so you gotta fly through rings.
All right.
And
I guess it's not.
it's gotta be a Fate City simulation. That Superman game is pretty
That's
bad.
right. My favorite Peter Jackson movie is The Frighteners.
I doubt he's seen the video, but no, I don't think he's seen the hat. It's a cool. Yeah, I could get real quick.
Not yet.
It's over here. That's cool, Fabio. I mean, and that's cool, Bobby. As long as you're enjoying making the videos, man, go for it.
Why did She-Hulk get canceled? Because it was the twerking scene? Nah, because it sucked. But yes, because of the twerking scene.
Nice. A nice hat.
Cool. Very cool.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, very nice, Bobby. Thank you so much for the gift. Appreciate it, man.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'll wear a little bit for Bobby. There you go. Thank you, Bobby. Fits well, too. Yeah, She-Hulk can twerk the unemployment. She can twerk to the strip club if she can afford it. Help pay her lawyer fees since she wants to be a part lawyer. Get through law school stripping.
Perry fan, I'd stick with a Honda. I have a Honda. My Honda's great. I love that car.
Yep, General. I saw that video someone sent to me as well. The Critical Drinker had his 5 most underrated sequels, and Predator 2 was number 1. So that was cool to see. He had Ghostbusters 2 on the list, which was nice as well.
Cool.
Nice to see Ghostbusters 2 and Predator 2 get some love. Listen, it's always nice to see Predator 2 get some love. It deserves it. Okay, okay, someone asked Danny Glover and asked him about Predator 2, who I would like to meet. There you go.
There you go.
And ask a question. Danny Glover, Predator 2. Have an in-depth conversation about Predator 2. Because the guy deserves it. He got a lot of shit for it. He didn't deserve that shit.
He didn't do anything wrong.
No, he was great. He did his job well.
And you know, all these people want to bitch about diversity and inclusion. Well, look at Predator 2. You had a black lead. His partner was Latino. His other partner was a woman that was Latino. Okay.
Yeah. And they didn't put it down your throat. These are who the people are, and we want to make a fun movie.
The Predator was played by a black guy in both movies.
Yep. Rest in peace to Kevin Peter Hall.
Exactly. And he was Harry in Harry and the Hendersons.
For sadly, he was Harry all over his body.
That's right.
Hey, it'd be great if the two of us were together interviewing celebrities. We'd last like 1 year because we'd like just be honest. And then by the end of the year, we'd get fired.
Get fired. That's right.
But I mean, as long as we could like ask anything we actually wanted to ask and be honest, not you have to ask these questions. Like, no, we want to ask what we want to ask.
Exactly.
And then they never talked to us again, maybe, but
just like when me and Mike and Boaz interviewed Sam Furstenberg, the first thing I asked was, what can't we ask him? Oh no, you can ask him anything. Okay, then I'm in. Let's do it. Yeah, he was Kevin Peter Hall was also good friends with Rick Baker. There you go.
Favorite fast food to treat myself on occasionally? For me, it was simple. McDonald's. I love the chicken nuggets. I love their French. I'm addicted to their French fries. I know this. I am. Ever since I
Nah,
was a
all right.
kid.
They got good fries. Not complaining. It's probably the best thing they have there.
Fabio. Uh, oh, how about you? What fast food would you pick? Like you
Um,
need to.
well, if we're talking like big, well, I'm gonna go with Five Guys because Five Guys is everywhere now. So that
Okay.
that is a burger where every time you go there, it doesn't disappoint.
No, yeah, Fabio and Mike, and they interviewed Sam Furstenberg, the director of American Ninja 1 and 2 and Avenging Force. It's on your channel,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes,
And,
it is.
okay, who is the third person
Boaz
that
is
you
his
said?
name, who
Boaz.
has been watching all of our videos for many years. And the first thing I asked him is, "What the hell's wrong with you?" And he just laughed.
But yeah,
But
Mr. Felton, just go on Fabio's channel and type up Sam Furstenberg, and the interview's on there. It's a good one, very lengthy. Uh, they go
I
into a
would,
lot of
I
the.
would love to do a part two because there was so much that we didn't get a chance to cover.
I've never been to a Five Guys, so I can't say how
Okay,
that is. Never been to one.
they're good. I prefer that. Or here on the East Coast, it's Hardee's, but out west, it's Carl's Jr.'s. It's pretty much the same thing. There might be some
Oh,
different things on the menu, but they're always good.
yeah, I remember Hardee's.
Yeah. My favorite Charles Bronson movie overall would be Death Wish 3. But excluding the Death Wish movies, it'd be Murphy's Law. Love Murphy's Law.
Someone's asking, what do you get on your Five Guys burger?
I usually get a bacon cheeseburger and I put tomato and mayo on it.
Cool.
This is for both of us. Do you like Tomorrow Never Dies? Yes, one of my favorite James Bond movies.
Mine as well.
I would say it's my second favorite of the Pierce Brosnan films, only next to GoldenEye, obviously. And I love the video game. The PlayStation game was really fun.
Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. I like the show, and it has some good action scenes, and it was ahead of its time about the media. So
Yeah.
the plot still works today.
And it's
Media manipulating.
really, if you think about it, it's really the last Bond film to have pretty much all practical effects.
Yeah, because Die Another Day was was another thing.
I don't even want to get started with that. Because World Is Not Enough had some CG. I think the Daniel Craig ones, they might have went back to mostly practical. It's been so long since I've seen it. I know Skyfall is mostly practical effects. There is some CG, but most of it is practical.
Yeah, a lot of practical. That's a good one.
I think Casino Royale had pretty much all practical except some stuff here and there. So that's good. It's good for those. But yeah, Mike, we have Jersey Mike's here. I love Jersey Mike's. Fuck Subway. I'll never go to Subway again for many reasons. But no, Mr. Falcon, I don't like jalapenos on my burgers. I don't. That's just me.
Did the opening credits of Tomorrow Never Dies have CGI? I don't remember the opening credits.
Maybe like the credit sequence, but not like all the stuff with the plane and everything. That's all practical, as far as I remember.
To this day, I still haven't seen No Time to Die, Sam, so I can't answer your question.
Who the fuck would want to watch that?
Yeah.
Jamraw asked me, did you ever meet a celebrity and you asked them a question that made them happy because no one else asked? Yes, all the time. When I meet actors, directors, whoever, I always try to ask them questions that I know no one else is going to ask. And 9 times out of 10, they have a smile and they say, "No one ever asked me that. Thank you." And there we go. Like when I met Jeanette Goldstein from Aliens, I asked her about Charles Bronson, and she had a big smile on her face, and she goes, "No one ever asked me about that." I said, "Well, yeah, because I want to hear about it." I'm pretty sure you get tired of talking about aliens after 2 days, so I'm gonna ask a different question.
Right.
Same with Mark Rolston. I asked Mark Rolston about Best of the Best, and when he worked with Jackie Chan. Yeah, World Is Not Enough also has Denise Richards. Yeah, I'll pass.
I'm doing well, Liam. Thanks for asking. And the opening credits with the nude girls, yeah.
Yeah, that was
They can't
CG,
they
but
can't,
I mean that's
they
to be
can't afford
expected.
titties.
Yeah, that's
They
CG,
can't
but
afford the titties.
everything else, like Bond blowing shit up and flying around in an airplane, that was all practical.
But the titties, we need CG.
That's right.
You
CG
can't do
titties.
it
I'm
that way.
okay with CG titties. That's all right.
Yeah, I mean it's the same unless they're standing in front of me. I can't touch them. Might as well be the same
That's right.
because they're still behind the screen. You can't get through.
I agree. Jedi Zilla, the last Bond film was Skyfall. Fuck everything else.
Someone was asking, it'd be tough, and you'd have to give me a minute to say what my top 5 James Bond films are. I know I can do it. You'd have to. Goldeneye would be on the list. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Uh-oh.
I really like The Spy Who Loved Me. And see, there's others. Baby Goldfinger. But then I know I'm leaving some stuff out. But as of right now, I would say those 5 would probably be on the list somewhere. So
What were they again? You cut out.
I said for the 5, I know somewhere in there I would be having Goldeneye, Tomorrow Never Dies, License to Kill, Spy Who Loved Me, and Goldfinger.
Okay.
Probably,
Yeah, you cut out for a second.
Okay. I don't know what ranking they would be, but
fuck the Chucky TV series. Who the fuck would want to watch that? Chucky's like the president or something. Who cares? Stupid.
Yeah. I'm not. Unless it was a request, I'm not watching the shit. Fuck that little turd. And fuck Don Fettuccine.
Yeah, he's a
fucking
weirdo.
Alfredo motherfucker.
And not in a good way.
Fuck that motherfucker. Can't write for shit. Tired of his ass. Retire.
There you go, Mike. Yeah, when Joe Dante is coming to Monster Mania, I have to ask about the Burbs because it's the Burbs, but I'll also ask him about Small Soldiers.
Why would I put Fabio on the list? So
what did I do?
Victor Salva, hit with a hammer, throwing black hole. Oh, go to Taco Bell. Well, Taco Bell would be awful too. That might be the worst one to do to Fabio.
Unless it's Demolition Man.
I'll go to Taco Bell in Demolition Man, and we'll be the fly on the wall watching Stallone get pissed and saying you should have kept me in the fridge.
Listening to show tunes.
Yeah, the hot dog songs.
That's right.
I'm an Oscar minor winner. Black Hole, Victor Salva, Hammer, Spacey.
There you go. Jamaral, I reviewed the first 8 Fast and the Furious movies. I really like the first 2. The third one's okay. I don't mind the third one. Fuck the fourth. Well, the fourth one was the absolute worst of the franchise. 5 and 6 I like, but then after that, I kind of gave up. 7 was terrible, and it's not because Paul Walker died. And it just run its course at that time. And then 8 was a little bit better, but not by much. And then, well, no, Jason Statham's a good guy now. It's like, no, stop. Now it's getting like Expendables. Everyone has to be a good guy.
And yeah, I did like the Beverly Hills Cop 4 teaser. I hope the movie's good, but as
I
a
did
teaser,
too.
I did like it. As a teaser, it did its job well. I just hope it doesn't fail, and become shitty. But as a teaser, it did what it was supposed to do. It got me interested.
There you go. Yeah, the BMW scene in Tomorrow Never Dies is awesome, and it's all practical. It's real cars, real stunt guys. Today, it'd be all CG.
Well, Jesse, there's a reason why Never Seen Ever Again is out of place, because it's not officially part of. It's the what it was based on. I believe the author owned more of a piece of it, so they could make a movie, but not quite call it James Bond. But so it's pretty much a remake of
Thunderball.
Yeah, Thunderball.
Because he wrote.
So
It's weird because he helped write Thunderball, and then when it came out, Ian Fleming didn't give him any credit, so he sued him, and he won, but he won the story rights. So he had the option to make a movie using that story, but he couldn't call it Thunderball. He had to call it something else. That's why they made Never Say Never Again, which essentially is a remake of Thunderball. And then he tried to do it, I think, 2 more times, but then he got sued again, and then they got the rights. And then he owned the name Spectre, so they couldn't use the name Spectre in the James Bond movies. And then they came to an agreement after the guy died, like the family met with the people that do James Bond, so now they own everything again. It's all weird. Most legal stuff is. It's usually about money. That's all it was. Because he never got paid, and then the movie came out and he didn't get credit, so then he's like, well, I came up with the story, and yeah, it's all a mess.
How do you feel about Never Seen Ever Again?
I mean, I like it more than Octopussy. That's just me, but I think it's because Sean Connery's in there. I like the action a little bit more in that. It makes a little more sense as a Bond film, but I mean, Octopussy has good action, but that's really the only good thing about that movie. The rest of that movie is not good. But I like Never Say Never Again more.
Do you like it more than Thunderball?
No.
This is a remake of that?
No. I like Thunderball a lot more. Thunderball is one of my favorite Sean Connery movies of the James Bond stuff. James, I love Alfred Hitchcock.
So do I. My favorites would be Rear Window and The Birds, and I liked Saboteur as well.
Oh yeah. Yes, Silver Wings. Actually, Silver Wings. There's 10 Fast and the Furious movies, and yes, they do go to space. I'm sorry nobody told you, but yes.
You were lucky to not know.
Yeah, you were better off not knowing. Oh, my God.
They'll do an 11th one as well. They'll do at least one more.
I thought they were doing 2 more.
I don't know. They'll do 3 more. I don't know.
God only knows. Yeah, Jamro, I do remember those short BMW films from back in the day that had Clive Owen. I think I might have the DVD that had all those somewhere in here. Maybe, but there was a comic book too based on that. Yeah, Jesse, that's why you are correct. That's why Never Say Never Again feels weird, because the circumstances, how it got made was weird. And the reason why they called it Never Say Never Again is because Sean Connery said that he would never play James Bond again, and it happened. So there you go. But it's a cool title for a movie, even if it's not James Bond, you know. But it was all a bunch of legal shit. And then, like I said, the guy tried to do it again with Timothy Dalton, but then he got sued again. And then I think he tried to do it before Casino Royale came out. He was trying to like beat them to getting a movie out. And then I think he got sued again. And then it was going to court, and then he died, I think. And then his family came in, and then they were able to get I know I'm saying "and then" a lot. I apologize. Then the family like sold the rights back to the James Bond people, which is why Spectre got back into the movies, because he owned the name of Spectre, because he came up with it.
Sway Persuade mentions, I like your action figures you got there. I'm a big collector as well.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you. Yes, Will Ferrell, number one. When I become president, I will bring back video stores. That'll be my first executive order, is to bring back Blockbuster. Thunderball is underrated. I like Psycho 2 and 3 more than the first. Psycho 2, I definitely agree with. Psycho 2 is my favorite. Psycho 3 is good. I like that Anthony Perkins directed that, which how he did that was he sued Universal because he never got paid royalties. And part of the agreement was that they let him direct Psycho 3. So I like that about the movie. And Jeff Fahey's in it, which is cool. But I think at that point it kind of had run its course.
And yes, Silverings, you're right. Yeah, Sean Connery would voice James Bond again, and From Russia with Love.
Yep,
that's true.
I have it right there. Looking at it right now. Great game. That was the last time he did. Last time he played James Bond.
I have to pick that up sometime.
Yeah,
is that more first-person shooter?
It's a third person. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really fun. And again, the fact that it is Sean Connery doing the voice makes it more special.
When did you first play that? Back in the day?
No, I got that maybe a few years ago now. I think I found it. I don't remember where I found it, but it was cheap, and I was like, "Cool! I've always wanted to play this." And maybe I got it out in Colorado. I'm not sure, but it's fun.
Take care, Connor, and thank you, Bobby. Mike said, "Hey, Matt, ever since you tried that Mellow Yellow, it feels like you're." Fuck Barbie.
That's right. Fuck Barbie. The movie was so good, no one's talking about it anymore.
I'm still disappointed they made $1 billion. I mean, I know it's a big name. I'm still disappointed.
So am I. And yeah, Gemerall. Well, that's how it is. It's not just Fast and the Furious. It's every movie. This character dies. This character comes back. This character died. This character comes back. Just stop.
My favorite Sean Connery film, for me, I will say Outland. That'd be my favorite Sean Connery movie.
The Rock.
It's a good choice. So that's true. That's the other time he played James Bond. There you go.
True. I told people that when I was a kid, and I'm like, that's James Bond. They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, okay, but it is. Nobody believed me. I was ahead of my time. Yeah, Timothy Dalton unfortunately got screwed over because there should have been at least another movie that he did as James Bond. But no.
God damn it, Mike. Yeah, God damn it, Mike. Why you like Barbie? Get the fuck out. I just kidding. What the fuck you doing?
Barbie was fucking terrible.
What the fuck you doing, Mike? God damn it.
How's that even a movie?
Just... It's bullshit. Live it.
It's all bullshit. You fucking quiet boy compared to me.
The bullshit.
Come on. You
Just
didn't
do
miss
your
much.
dirty work.
That's right.
Hey, Rich,
Who do I
we
look
already
like?
talked
Dirty
about
Harry?
James Bond. There's a couple of acres.
That's right. Oh yeah, Expendables 4 was the greatest movie ever of all time. It should win every award ever. How did you know? Fucking Expendables 4. I do like Entrapment. I'm looking right. I have the Blu-ray. Looking at it right now. I do like that movie. Isn't it's right here? Might as well just pull it off the shelf
Cool.
if it wants to. Yeah, Ving Rhames is. I thought he was in it, but unfortunately, the Blu-ray does not have all the features that the DVD does. So, because fucking Fox, and this is one of those early Blu-rays where the quality is shit because they just took DVD transfers and put them on a Blu-ray. Because it's MPEG 2, it should be MPEG 4. Fucking idiots! Like the transporter. That's why I wish the transporter would get a better Blu-ray, because the Blu-ray that's out here is terrible because it's just a DVD transfer. Because they were just like, "Oh, cool, Blu-ray. We'll just make more money." And yeah, okay, sure. David Faustino, yeah, I like him from Married with Children.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't recognize the name, but now I know. Okay.
Transporter.
Yeah, Mike, I just saw the comment. Yeah, it would have been nice to see Dalton get a third James Bond. That would have been nice. It's too bad though.
I think Transporter might have a 4K overseas, but not here. Maybe.
Hey
not
there.
Sure.
Hi there, Country Shape and Nip B. Hope you're doing well.
Well, all you guys like the beard, so I'll just keep it. My mom keeps yelling at me.
What was that?
My mom keeps yelling at me. She's like, "You need to trim it." I'm like, "I don't think so."
I didn't know Crank was on 4K, so
it wasn't even shot on film. Yeah, that movie was clearly shot digitally, but I like it, so can't complain.
And yeah, Liam, I did know about that. Thank you, though. I didn't watch the Emmys. Why would I watch the Emmys? Shit about Emmys.
Who the fuck watches the Emmys? Besides the people that are there.
What has David Faustino done since Married with Children?
He was in Blank Check. Was he not? Uh-oh.
Stupid StreamYard. But so Blank Check he was in.
I mean, when you have Married with Children money, do you need to do anything else? How long was that show on for? 10 years? 11 years? He was probably, I mean, you don't hear anything negative about him, so he probably was smart with his money and invested wisely. Fuck it. Why not?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in an episode of The X-Files. One of the late seasons.
It was the Brady Bunch episode.
Yeah. The Brady Bunch episode, that's right.
Rocking the Wolverine bill. Well, I am watching the X-Men cartoon, so there's that.
Nah, yeah. Never saw Sean Connery's last film. Never saw it.
Nope. Maybe somebody will get slapped at the end. Nah, we'll see. Well, yeah, I mean, I like Blank Check, but it is fucking creepy to watch it now because the ending, where Karen
Yeah.
Duffy's like 30 and she kisses the kid at the end of the movie. I'm like, is that not statutory rape? I could be wrong about that, but just saying. Fucking Disney. The signs were always there.
Yeah, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, seriously.
Girl's like
Fucking
16 years old and her titties are ready to fall out of her seashells.
fucking Disney. I've been telling people for years. They didn't want to listen.
Ready to crawl out the sea to suck some human dick.
That's right.
She had crabs, literally. So
She did, actually.
So she's half naked. Her titties almost fall out. She got crabs.
What the fuck?
And then the rumor where like, I don't know if it's a rumor. Maybe it is true. Like animators like made dicks in the background.
Yeah, it's true.
So there you go.
Because they did that in Lion King. In Lion King, they wrote sex with the stars. I think if you have the VHS, you could see it, but the DVD, they airbrushed it out. And then at the end of Aladdin, when they get married, the priest, he has a boner. They drew a boner in. I think on the DVD they changed it, but yeah, they do shit like that all the time. Yeah, Jesse, I like Living Daylights quite a bit. License to Kill I like more, but both of the Timothy Dalton movies I quite enjoy.
Makes you think those animators must have been just so maybe depressed working with Disney, just like I'm going to mess with them.
Probably.
They'll never know.
Probably.
And if they know, they won't know who did it.
Yeah. Well, there was one dude. This was many, many years ago. I had a Wizard magazine, and he talked about how he got fired from Disney on his first day because he made like porn with Mickey Mouse and showed it in the break room and got caught.
Was it Tyler Durden?
Maybe, I don't know.
It's Tyler Durden
from fucking Fight Club.
That's kind of weird. Like, I guess as a joke, like I'm anime Mickey Mouse having sex.
Yeah, that's he like did as a joke and showed it in the break room. I guess they have a projector in the break room.
Yeah.
And he showed it, and the wrong person walked in and saw it, and he got fired. I don't remember who it was. I have the magazine somewhere. But I'm like, Jesus. Like, as a kid reading that, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Because my mom used to buy me Wizard. Oh, it's about comic books. I'm like, yeah, but did you read what's in the pages? Like, just because it's for comic books doesn't mean anything. There's some fucked up shit in this magazine that I should not be reading.
I believe the Restorers has a small frame of porn in the background, but it goes by so fast.
It does. You can find it here on YouTube. Yeah, Frankie Muniz was smart with his money, and he does not have brain damage. He's fine. He talked about that on Steve O's show. He's like, no, I'm good. He goes, do you remember 2001? Yeah, nobody does. He goes, I'm fine. I don't have brain damage. Yeah, X-Men, the first season has shitty animation because they rushed it to get it out. And on YouTube here, you can find like all the flaws. Like there's videos where they show all the flaws and everything. What was the other? Oh, Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit, if you have it on VHS and Laserdisc, there's a shot where Jessica Rabbit has her legs open and you can see her monkey, and they had to airbrush it out for the DVD. I don't know how anyone didn't notice that.
The Mickey Mouse horror. Well, Steamboat Willie. I mean, that's public domain. That was bound to happen. I think there's like 2 horror films coming out now because of that. Probably more stuff. It's lazy. I mean, if they were to make it witty, like if there was fun, bonkers like Willy's Wonderland, or if it was like witty, clever satire on making fun of Disney, but without getting sued, then I'd be curious. But they're just very, very lazy cash-ins, just like that Winnie the Pooh one I saw. Is made very cheap, very quick, cash in on the buzz and hype. Then when it dies down, they'll forget about it and move on to the next cash grab. So if they put effort into it, it could be kind of funny, but there's no effort being put into it. So it's just lazy, pure laziness.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a cash grab because they have it, just like everything else. Just like the one they did with Winnie the Pooh I'm sorry, you mentioned that. My bad. Drugs.
What
was the other one? The Grinch. That's what I meant to say. They did it with the Grinch. It's like, who cares? Yes, Heavyweights is a very underrated Disney movie. I would love to see the darker cut of that.
What is the darker cut? I haven't heard of that. I remember not minding Heavyweights, but
it's not out. But on the Blu-ray, they have all the deleted scenes, and it is way darker. Like, it was definitely not made for kids. I would love to see somebody put all those scenes back into the movie.
I haven't seen those.
It has all the jokes because they had to cut and redub a lot of the jokes to get the PG rating.
So what were some of the deleted scenes like to make it darker? Because I don't have it. I didn't see them. So
there was ones where like Ben Stiller does all this ridiculous shit for the kids, like not feeding them and stuff. Like it got really dark, like to the point where it's like it was more of a horror movie than anything else. A lot of the jokes they had to change because in the movie the joke is Seymour Butts, but originally it was Peter Fitz, and they had to change it so they could get the PG.
Oh, okay.
Like at the end, when Ben Stiller goes crazy, there was a lot more of that they had to cut out because, again, it would have got a PG-13, and that's not what they were going for.
I guess that reminds me of like that bit with Ace Ventura where they had the scene, the nightmare where the birds ate him up, and then the scene when at the end when he let go of that hook and it decapitated the 2 guys, like their heads popped off.
Yep.
And it's like maybe that's a bit too dark. Just have them cut away. They're knocked out.
With that, especially with Ace Ventura, it's like it's kind of like they were making 2 different movies. So then they were like,
can you imagine if it was released and he decapitated people?
Yeah, it'd be rated R, and people, oh my god, he murdered these people. Why? Like, what the fuck?
He loves that dolphin.
I guess.
He's
a psycho. Norman Bates.
Yeah, Lucas, I would consider the Uncharted games replayable. Yeah, they were fun and much, much better than the movie. And also saw that Nathan Fillion short. Why they could not just get him, and that would have made a good movie with Nathan Fillion. That short was better than the entire movie, and it's a shame they didn't.
Because they're lazy.
They didn't say yes.
X-Men Evolution is good. I love that. I got a paid request to review the original X-Men cartoon and X-Men Evolution, so you guys will see that soon.
Very cool.
There you go, Mike. Wizard Magazine.
Hey there, Ryan. Yeah, Galaxy Quest was edited down to let loosen the rating. Like there was at least once or twice where the F word was the F word or shit. One of the curse words was changed. I know at the end when they're going through Tim Allen's Zora Weaver, she said more of a curse word that had to be changed.
She said fuck and they cut it out.
Yeah.
But in the documentary, it's in there. There's a documentary that came out of Galaxy Quest. That clip is in there where she says it. The original version is in there.
Yeah. Good documentary.
Yeah, Banana Splits was definitely a cash grab. Man of the House is underrated with Chevy Chase. Absolutely.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid. It's been a long time.
That's a good one.
For some reason, I kept getting that confused with Did Even with Dad.
Well, they came out at the same time, I believe.
Yeah.
So that would be why. I think they came out the same year. Getting Even with Dad is not a good movie, though. You would think that it would be because it's Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin, but it's not. It's not a good movie. WCW fan forever. There is a deleted scene where they're talking about the kids are talking heavyweights. They're talking about getting a boner, but you don't see it. Thank God. No, Disney's more interested in putting scenes in the Marvels where characters are asking, what 16-year-old girls' sex toys are, because that's appropriate.
No, I'm not excited for Mad Max Furiosa. I give
Is anyone
shits about it. Yes.
The MTV Spider-Man cartoon was awesome. That needs a Blu-ray. I love that cartoon.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I enjoy that one.
Cocaine. I blame the cocaine. Well, movies were better when everybody was on cocaine. Just saying. Well, the Goonies, I want to see the original ending where Sloth wears the Hawaiian shirt because there's pictures of it, but I don't know if they ever shot it.
Okay. No, I don't like any of the Terrifier films. No, I don't look forward to Terrifier 3. Fuck that. Nope. I'll pass.
Fuck those movies. At what point was the F word only allowed once in a PG-13? I think it was always, for the longest time, only once. Unless you got an appeal back in the day. But I think now, I mean, I've seen plenty of PG-13s where the word fuck's in there like 5 times and they let it go. It's like, okay.
Well, Mr. D, man, Disney already hired Fit to Salva for a movie called Powder back in the day.
They did.
So they already beat you to it. And then people were roasting Disney at the time for it. Understandably so.
Spaceballs was PG and had fuck because they got an appeal. Same with Lone Wolf McQuade. Lone Wolf McQuade, they say fuck like 4 times in that movie and it's PG, but they went to the appeals board and were able to get it.
No, Rotti never killed Tommy Gunn. Rotti died. An altered version of Rocky 5.
Rocky killed Tommy. I didn't see that version.
But there was a version where he was going to die. Rotti was going to die.
Right.
But then, as Stallone said, and I saw your reviews of the documentaries, fully agree with you. Great job on those. Sly was too short.
Yeah.
90 minutes. I
was like yelling at the screen practically. I'm like, come on. You don't even mention Cliffhanger, one of your biggest. No mention of Cliffhanger. I'm like, really? No mention of Demolition Man. Really? They were talking about Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, but they didn't go in. Okay, like, why did it not work? Why? I mean, I like it. That's just me, but.
Yeah, the fact that if you even have an inkling of his career, you don't go into Rambo First Blood Part 2, which is one of his biggest hits ever.
None of the Rambo sequels.
Right.
They didn't talk about any of the Rambo sequels.
Right. A Demolition Man, just for how much it was ahead of its time, you think that would be brought up? Nothing. It just, even Judge Dredd, to talk about how the making of that film and how
Yeah.
things change, and
Nope.
I don't understand it. I mean, I don't get the thinking behind it.
Well, Judge Dredd was the tamest R ever. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty tame. I don't know about the tamest, but yeah, because they shot all this violence, and they're like, well, it'll be PG-13, and then they got sued. I think McDonald's sued them because they were supposed to do the toys, and the movie was rated R, and they're like, no, you lied to us, so they got sued, and then it's like, well, we'll just cut away, and it's like, well, no, because you still hear people getting murdered, but you can't do that. And yeah, I mean, Judge Dredd could be a documentary in itself. And then, like, going back to that, like, there was a lot of weird camera shit in that. There was like shots where Sly's talking and it's important, and the camera keeps moving. It's like, what are you doing? It's like the guy like dropped the camera or something and was picking it up. You can't focus. Every time Arnold talked, there was noise in the background. You couldn't hear him talk. The music was too loud. It was so annoying.
And no, General, no, they didn't talk about Detox. Most of those later ones, no, none of it was brought up. Like I said, not even Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, not Driven, not really, other than maybe the first Expendables.
Yeah, he talked a little bit about it, but the only thing he talked about was the idea. Like, he's like, what if I did a movie that had all the action guys in it? Okay, cool. And then he talked about his neck injury, and he said he's still not recovered from that.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all he talked about. Nothing about like they showed clips of assassins, but he didn't talk about it. Nothing about Daylight. Nothing about Get Carter. It's like, I don't know. Like it was so disappointing it was so frustrating. It was more frustrating than anything else. It's like you're at this point in your life where you're getting older. Why don't you leave something behind for people? Why don't you just talk about all this stuff?
Especially when we know there's stories there to talk about.
Right.
Cobra, you pretty much confirmed you really directed the film. George Trustwell's passed away. I think it's okay to admit it now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to. I think the statute of limitations has expired on that. I think we're good.
Taylor Cash, it was the director, got fired, and then people that came in to re-edit the film, and additional, like all the hoopla that happened around Taylor Cash. A lot of stuff happened with that film. Yeah. That could be a very interesting conversation, and you don't bring it up. Yep. And you mentioned a bit of this in your review, but they don't even say Sage Stallone's name. Like Sly doesn't. They show a picture, but he doesn't say his name. And like you mentioned, his other kid who is
autistic.
Yeah. No mention of him at all.
Yeah, Sergio is his other son's name. Yeah,
I don't even know what Sergio is doing. Like, don't know. Like, is Sergio still around?
I don't know. Because they didn't talk about
what you going to say about it.
Just just more on that. It's just like, again, he like wears the hat from over the top, but he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't talk like he talked a little bit about Fist in Paradise Alley, which is cool because I like those movies. Don't get me wrong, but Rhinestone. Okay, why did you do Rhinestone? Why did it not work? Why was it a failure? Like, come on. Victory. Why'd you do Victory? Why Nighthawks? Nothing about Nighthawks. It's like, come on. It's just, and like I kept saying in it, stop being embarrassed because people think of you as the action star. Are you kidding me? Own that shit. You and Arnold are the top dogs. Own it. Be proud of that. Embrace it. Just, I don't know why he's so ashamed of that.
Nah, Fist is not a porno. The Italian Stallion, that's the porno.
That one is.
AKA the party that Tedious does. Fist is more about. It's not Jimmy.
It's based on Jimmy
Hoffa.
Hoffa.
Yeah.
It's based on
Something
Jimmy
like
Hoffa. That's essentially what the movie is. They just couldn't use the name and everything, but that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, Jamaral, Rambo 3 is my favorite. Rambo 3 was always my favorite.
For Fabio, what if Seth Rogen did a Power Rangers remake and they had Tom Holland, Ezra Miller, Fred, and Amber Heard, and LeBron James?
What you're seeing right now, this.
A headache. He's doing this to ease a
Right.
headache. That's what
Yeah. Clockwise. Go clockwise.
And for both of you, what if you did a Ninja Turtles Power Rangers? That'd be cool. Do a movie together, and we both work on. You got your side, I got my side. We'll work with these actors. We're co-directors.
Right.
We're the Wachowskis.
Motherfuckers, listen. This is what you're doing. Yep. I agree, Mike. How dare they not talk about Avenging Angelo? I believe Stallone directed parts of Rambo 3, but he was not allowed to get credit because they had a director, Russell Mulcahy, and they fired him. I believe Stallone directed parts of that, but he was not allowed to get credit. Like Nighthawks. The subway chase in Nighthawks, Stallone directed all that because they fired the director, but he was not allowed to get credit. There was a legal loophole thing or whatever, but he directed that stuff. Like he directed parts of Tango and Cash, and he directed parts of Judge Dredd, but he's not allowed to get credit.
And yes, Stallone did direct the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. It's called Staying Alive, which is not nearly as good.
And they didn't talk about that. Like,
yeah,
okay,
directing.
Why? Yeah, why? What? How'd that happen? What? What was that experience like? What was it like working with Travolta? Like, come on now.
And Fabio did review Samaritan on his channel, Jamaral. He reviewed the film on his channel.
I did. Left a lot to be desired. And they definitely cut that movie down to get a PG-13. You could tell when you watch it that was definitely supposed to be rated R, and they cut a lot out of it to get that down to a PG-13. There's no way that was not the case. Okay, his Sergio Stallone is still alive. Well, that's good. I'm glad he's still alive. But why not talk about it? It's just...
And yeah, I agree with you on Samaritan because I've seen the other guys work, the director, Overlord, and the Pulp.
Yeah, Overlord I liked. I really liked Overlord. I saw that in theaters.
And those two were R-rated films, didn't hold back on it. Pulp Exorcist I actually rather liked, and the finale didn't hold back on his rating. So I don't know who told him. I don't know why, since it's going to Amazon, you have to abide to whatever these. I don't know why. If it's Amazon.
I think because they were trying to put it in the theaters and they were trying to compete with Marvel, and then it was too late. And...
Bad decision.
I agree, Mike. I think, and I know Matt talks about this all the time. I think Stallone is upset at the fact that he didn't have a career like Al Pacino or Robert De Niro. He wanted to be that kind of actor. He is that kind of actor. Rocky, Fist, Paradise Alley, Victory. He's done those kind of movies. It's just they didn't do that well other than Rocky. So you have to do what works. And people wanted to see him as Rocky. And it's like now he doesn't want to be the action guy. It's like, just be proud of it. I mean, those were huge movies. Rocky 4 and Rambo 2 were in the top 5 grossing movies of 1985. How many people can say that? Had 2 of the top 5 movies. Not many. I mean, Demolition Man was a big hit. Cliffhanger was a big hit. You did The Expendables, which was a hit. I mean, you have so much to be proud of. Just appreciate what you got and be proud of what you created. Not, well, I should have been more like Pacino. Fuck that. You made your own mark on movie history.
Yeah, just like Fabio said, when Stallone got into the acting game, it was to be that kind of actor. That's what drew him to write Rocky. That's what drew him to do, like you said, Paradise Alley and Fist and these other movies, Victory, because he wanted to be Robert De Niro type, Al Pacino type. He got into action. It was successful. And is that the first time he tried to, by the late 90s, he wanted to get away from that. That's why he did, to good work, Lockup, more dramatic. Comedies, Oscar, very fun movie. Stop or Mom Will Shoot. There's close to doing that film Neighbors with him and John Candy. But then Cliffhanger, Demolition Man is what got him back on top. And then nowadays, I think, maybe more so nowadays because he realizes how old he is. He realizes he doesn't have that many movies left. And I think there's still a part of him that goes, you know what? I wish I could have been this guy. When, like you said, people love you for being this guy. And we still think you're a good actor. Like someone mentioned, you did win an Oscar. Granted for Creed, which I think he deserved more for Rocky Balboa or Copland. But he didn't win. Was it Golden Globe, actually? And he was nominated?
Well, he was nominated for Creed for the Oscar, but he didn't win.
Yeah, that's what. Was it Golden Globe, though, I think he won?
Yeah, I think you're correct. He won an Oscar for Rocky. He got Best Screenplay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have an Oscar. How many people can say that? Not many. So, what are you upset about? I don't know.
He didn't win one for acting.
Well, it is what it is. I'm sorry, but I guess
I think that's his mindset.
I can't help it. It's the tough love because I love Stallone. I do. I mean, my fucking username is the Italian Stallion. I just wish he wouldn't be so hard on himself. It's like, dude, look what how many of these movies did you write? A lot of them. Like you created these characters. You created Rocky. Rambo. You created the movie version of Rambo. Obviously, you didn't write the book, but you created Cobra. It's like, come on, you have so much to be proud about, so much to be happy about. Fuck it. Just like Arnold, like the good thing about the Arnold documentary, now they didn't go through every movie. I wish that they did, but yeah, this one, and I did this, and then, it is what it is. It didn't really work out, but Arnold seemed more open to talking about that. Of course, obviously you can't put it all in one, but he mentioned movies like Raw Deal and this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. Mike cutting cards is one of the best episodes of Tales from the Crypt. Can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong with Lance Henriksen.
I know this is a completely random question. Did you ever do a video showing your Fangoria collection? Because I know you picked up a lot throughout the conventions you've gone to. Okay.
No, I've never done a video on that. Maybe this year, maybe for Halloween, I'll do that. I have not done that so far.
Okay.
Because I have to get them all together because they're scattered and maybe I'll do that for Halloween this year. I'll have a lot of free time in October for the most part. So,
hey there, Broad Stipe.
Yeah, Stallone was always a good actor. I mean, again, just watch the first Rocky. But don't be embarrassed about movies like Cobra and Over the Top and Tango and Cash. They're good movies. They're fun.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the film ICU. I think it had good performance in that.
I do too. Did that other cut ever come out or no?
Not yet. and the
Okay.
website, those movies, it's like out of stock, so you can't even order it if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And then and I don't know about. I mean, that website seems fishy because it looks very low budget. I know it's overseas, but
Mhm.
it looks like I've seen fan websites that look more put together than that. Just
Yeah.
me. So I
Because
don't know.
I was looking online and I couldn't find anything for it, so I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have got an Oscar for Copland. Robert Patrick agreed with me when I met him, and we talked about that. So, yeah, I agree, Mike. It came out the wrong time because L.A. Confidential came out, I think, right around the same time, and similar kind of movies. So, yeah, but I like L.A. Confidential, but Copland is better. Bronx Tale is my favorite mafia film.
It looks cheap, like Hong Kong Rescue. Yeah, the website does kind of look that cheap.
Don't mention those
It does.
words. Starting to get flashbacks. That's right. Van Damme is a good actor. Van Damme got better. If you don't believe me, just watch JCVD or Wake of Death. Van Damme definitely got better as an actor, but he's another one where the later his career went, he was more concerned about, well, what about my character and this and that? And it's like, okay, cool, but we kind of want to see the old Van Damme too. So,
What is it?
yeah, the worst part of Samaritan was the kid. Yeah, it was that fucking kid from Euphoria.
Someone's asking. I mean, I'm sure Stallone would not be against working with people like Scorsese and De Palma, but the thing is, Stallone likes to take control of his work, and these directors want to have their films be their films. I think Stallone, just because he's a writer, he's directed, he likes to rewrite his dialogue to fit his own cadence, his voice. I think a lot of people just kind of they're not big fans of that, and I think that word got spread. So once while you work with someone, and not sure, I don't know how Richard Donner felt working with Sylvester Stallone or in Assassins and other directors,
Well, Richard
but
Donner said he did like working with Stallone. He's just felt that the roles should have been switched in the movie, which I don't really agree with, but that's just me. Because I do like Assassins, and that movie's kind of getting its just desserts now, which is nice. But there was the guy in the documentary, the film critic. I don't remember his name. I apologize. But he said, and I forgot to mention this, he said that he thinks one of the reasons why he got labeled like difficult to work with and his ego is because, yes, he has a vision for the movie and he feels very strongly about that and he wants that to be what it is. And I get that, and I didn't really look at it that way. Now that when he said that, I'm like, you know what? I do see it that way. Of course, I was not on these sets. I don't know what really happened, but yeah, I can get behind that where yeah, Stallone has a vision and this is what he wants to do and there's other people that want to do something else or what have you and it doesn't always work out that way. Driven sucks. Driven is I never liked that. That movie was fucking terrible.
fully
Yeah.
agree. No,
I agree. I agree, Mike. Just embrace me in the next Clint Eastwood and just write and direct little movies and work with actors and go from there. It's time.
no, I never thought Charlie Brewster in the original Friday Night was whiny. I
I
think he
was
made
just
perfect sense.
I was just about to say the same.
No, I think his reaction made perfect sense. I mean, how would you react if there was a vampire next door?
You'd be scared too. Yeah, Nick. Robert Patrick was at the top. One of the people at the top of my list. Really nice guy. Everything that you could expect him to be. Um, yeah, General Van Damme. Lionheart is where Van Damme started to show people that he could do more than just kick people in the face. He showed that he can act, and you can put bigger movies and roles on his shoulders, and he can do it.
Yeah,
But of
absolutely.
course, the people with the money and well, we want to see you fight. Well, I can do that, but I can do other stuff.
Except not directing. Maybe directing was his
Yeah,
forte.
don't. Yeah, that. Well, I think the only reason that happened is because Seagal got to direct. Well, if Seagal can direct, why can't I direct? Okay, well, and I think at that point, Universal just said, you know what, let him do it. It's just let's get rid of him because he pissed them off. So they said, fuck it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. They're like, fuck it, just this is his last movie for us. We're not going to deal with him again because he told us go fuck ourselves. Let him do it. Who cares? If it makes money, it makes money. If it doesn't, we don't have to work with him anymore. Yes, I think Keanu Reeves is a good actor. I think the problem is shitty scripts and making him sound stupid in movies. I think that's the problem. Because if you watch a movie like The Matrix or Speed or some other films, yeah, he's a pretty damn good actor, but you can't expect him to take your shitty script and turn it into something because that's not how it works.
Yeah, he was rather good in Constantine and Street
Yeah.
Kings, among other films. So, yeah, I agree.
I'd put Donnie Brasco probably as number 2 as my second favorite mafia movie. Speaking of people that should have won Oscars, Al Pacino should have won an Oscar for that. That's one of his best performances.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fire in the Sky, great movie.
Sopranos season 2, really good. It was my first time watching it. Really enjoyed it. Just like I enjoyed the first season. Yeah, I don't really have much issues with that. That was rather good, especially the writing.
It
Very
gets
good
better.
writing.
My favorite non-action Van Damme film, I guess Welcome to the Jungle, but only his performance. Everything else in the movie's lame.
Non-action Van Damme. JCVD, maybe?
There you
Well, I mean,
go.
there's a little bit of action. I don't know if I call that action movie, though. I mean, there's a little bit of action, but it's not action. So JCVD, I'll say. Hello there, YK.
Yeah, I like Nowhere to Run, Jesse. Van Damme, that's a movie where he got to show his acting ability a little bit more. But there's good fights in that. There's good action in that movie. I wouldn't say Arnold's not nice. It's just I never met Arnold, so I can't compare. But from what I heard, he is. Yes,
Maurice Gaston, hello there.
Wake of Death and Until Death need better Blu-rays. Let's go 88 films. No, I have not met Sean Patrick Flannery. People get mad over a fictional character. Sure. Keanu's problem is him is really himself in terms of what projects he chooses. Well, that's every actor. It's not just Keanu.
No, I couldn't add into the bouncer. I thought it was very disappointing.
I agree. That movie could have been so much better than it was. Same with what was the other one that he did around that time? What was it? We Die Young. That was
Yeah.
so disappointing too. That could have been a lot better. Pound of Flesh was so disappointing. Kill 'Em All was like so many of those. Blackwater, all those movies are just so disappointing.
Yeah, like Blackwater, you got Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren together at the
And
end.
on
They
the
don't,
same
they're not,
team this time.
but they're not together in the movie much. And you even got Patrick Kilpatrick from Death Warrant coming back to work with Van Damme, and just very lackluster execution. Pound of Flesh is some of the worst driving scenes. Where did you tell it's effects? It's like fake.
And
Kill 'Em All. Yeah, go ahead.
Pound of Flesh, they pump that movie up. They hype that movie up like it was going to be like the next Time Cop, and it wasn't.
No.
And then he died, and I'm like, what the fuck? Stop dying in your movies, man. He like dies every movie he does now. He dies. I hate it.
And Kill 'Em All, he didn't do a whole lot of killing.
No, not really. It was everybody else that was doing the killing. And they're making a sequel to that for some reason.
And then he has to find Daniel Bernhardt that I guarantee was cut down because you tell, like...
You could tell what was him and what was not him.
And also, like, he has no bruises. Then all of a sudden he has bruises, but he hasn't been hit yet. So I guess they cut... It's like he did take a beam, but they cut those parts out. So it just looked like Van Damme beat Daniel Bernhardt. Does he hate the Bloodsport sequels that much?
I guess.
Come on.
What are you doing? It's my movie. No, like, stop.
Oh, thank you, Creatures of Darkness. I haven't seen you on here. Hey, man, great channel. Always like watching your reviews. I always go back and listen to your Culture the Night Stalker review. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. That was a long time that I did that. That was years ago. But yeah, I still love that show. Glad they got a Blu-ray. And I know you mentioned maybe Halloween you might do a Kolchak streaming marathon, maybe.
I would like to, yes.
Obviously, you would know the answer to this more after you rewatch them. Are there 3 episodes that stick out in your mind if you only had to pick 3?
Yep, the Ripper, which is like the first episode. The
good one.
The second, well, not really, but the vampire was really good, and then the one when he's on the cruise ship, is it called the werewolf or no? Yeah, that was 3 are the 3 that stick out the most.
Good choices.
But they were all good. I like all the episodes. Unfortunately, it was only 20, but...
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan DT. I appreciate the kind words. He didn't die and we die young, but it was so weird. Like, he gets shot, but then I guess he didn't die because he's, like, wounded, and then the kids leave, and it never goes back to Van Damme. He's just sitting there, lying there with his hand over a wound, and we didn't see him die, so we assume he lived, but it was a very weird, like, you think he would go back and, okay, he's settled somewhere, or he's in a hospital, or he's getting his life together. You never know.
Nope.
So it was like a weird, kind of threw the character in the garbage type of thing. It was just a weird way of ending that character's story, so to speak. Maybe that's just me, but I'm like, what? Yes, Fabio reviewed True Justice. Didn't see the show, but Fabio reviewed and watched that show on his channel.
I don't know how I got through that one.
What was the worst parts of that show? I haven't watched your review in a while, but like, what was the worst part of True Justice? Was it just generic, or?
Yeah, it was just, let's take a Steven Seagal movie and we'll stretch it out to 22 episodes or whatever it was, and it's like, oh my god, it's the same shit over and over and over.
It would not have gone here to Texas, but I don't know about where Fabio's at.
I mean, it got really hazy when that happened. It was like Blade Runner out there. It was like all orange and shit. I mean, Kamen Rider, I've been an outcast my entire life, and that's the way I like it. So, not complaining. Vince Russo saying he doesn't need the Hall of Fame. Bro, I don't need to be in the Hall of Fame, bro. Bro.
It's funny. I looked that up that Bobby was talking about, and it's like this Canadian man. He claimed the wildfires were a federal conspiracy, but then he accidentally admitted to starting 14 fires himself.
Nice.
So now he's arrested for 14 cases of arson.
Moron. Moron.
He accidentally outed himself to start 14 fucking fires.
And they found out it was arson that started that.
Makes sense.
Fucking morons. The one in Hawaii was arson too.
Okay.
Killed all those people and destroyed half the island. Yeah, that was arson. They found out. Oh God. Oh no, New Jersey, you poor thing.
Sky smoky orange here.
You sure that was Canada? Because that's just how Jersey is in general.
That would be creepy to wake up and all of a sudden it's like you think the world. It really like the world.
I told you, it looked like damn Blade Runner 2049 out there. Everything was orange and shit. I was just waiting for Ryan Gosling to show up and start shooting replicants.
Yeah, the other Seagal show was Lawman. That's more the reality show.
That was another winner.
Which would you say was worse of a show?
Lawman, because at least True Justice was fantasy. It was fiction. Lawman, they were acting like he was a real cop and he, was the greatest cop that ever lived. And it's like, what the fuck am I watching? Am I tripping right now? Am I on drugs?
It's too bad this user, Carter Detention, wasn't in here. He would tell the story again about how Seagal pulled him and his friends over when they were in the car.
Really?
Right? Yeah, they were just in the car and they got pulled over by the cops and there was Seagal trying to sound Cajun, trying to sound black.
He's from fucking Detroit. What the fuck?
I don't know. It's just whoever he's with. If it's Asian, it's Namaste. If it's down south, he thinks he's black.
If he's up here, he thinks he's from New York. He thinks he's fucking Italian. He's not Italian. Come on.
Looking for Bobby Lupo.
That's right. Rich told me because he worked with Dwight Little's son that when they did Marked for Death, like Seagal got mad at everybody and he only spoke Japanese to the crew except Dwight Little. Like, okay. What the fuck?
Wonder what he got mad about.
Apparently he got mad at the producer. Him and the producer got into it and then he just started speaking Japanese. See, there you go. He knew I was talking about it. And he refused to speak English to everyone except Dwight Little because he respected Dwight Little or something. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you this way? Why are you so fucking goofy?
I guess like all the stories Stephen Hopkins had when he met Seagal and Seagal showed him his compound and all his guns and what to do your movie, Predator 2. Look at my bulletproof vest. I could use this in the movie.
And then fucking when Marked for Death made more money, he like called Stephen Hopkins up and made fun of him. And then there's a book that just came out about action films. I heard it was really good. John McTiernan got interviewed, and John McTiernan said Seagal harassed him for like months because he wanted to do a movie with them. And then he said, all right, I'll go to lunch with him. And they had lunch, and he was like, I'm not making a movie with you. He goes, if you want to have lunch, that's fine. He goes, but I'm not making a film with you. He goes, you make fascist movies. I don't know about that, but, sure. So I'm like, okay. Because I think they had the same agent at the time, and he was like so adamant to make a movie with John McTiernan, and John McTiernan was like, I'm not making a movie with you.
Thank you, Gregory. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah, they shot a dog or something because they were on Lawman. I think they were showing up at a guy's house to arrest him, and like the dog was out of control or something, and they shot the dog, and then they like ran over chickens. Or it was a bunch of shit that happened when they filmed that.
Yeah, I think the book Fabio is mentioning is The Last Acting Heroes, The Triumphs, Flops, and Feuds of Hollywood's Teens of Carnage. Came out 2023.
That book. I need to get that book. The White's kid probably wasn't even born, but he heard the story. Yeah, you were telling me about that.
However, his son did say Seagal and his dad got along. Well, there you go, but...
Yeah, from what I heard, Seagal apparently really liked Halloween 4, and that's how Dwight Little directed Marked for Death. That's what I don't know how true that is, but that's what I've heard.
And you said he called Stephen Hopkins and made fun that Predator 2 flopped?
Yeah, because Predator 2 came out a month after Marked for Death, and Predator 2 didn't make any money because came out the same day as some movie called Home Alone. Maybe you guys have heard of it. So Seagal called up Stephen Hopkins and made fun of him. And he goes, well, see, my movie made more money and you should have put me in Predator 2 and this and that. So he was like, okay, whatever.
But it's weird because then you later hear the story about how on Submerged he had come in with a Predator 2 movie and said, I want to make a movie like this.
Yeah, because he was always... Because I guess he was jealous or whatever that he didn't get to be in it. And then he goes, I want to do this. And then they're like, all right, cool. And then, no, I don't want to do it anymore. And it's like, okay, well, make your fucking mind up. Just like Gary Daniels said when they did that, when they were going to do that fight, they had it all planned out. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. It's going to be this big fight scene. And then they came in and they're like, we're not doing that anymore. He goes, I'm just going to like flip you and break your neck. And Gary Daniels said he was never that angry before. I believe it.
Yeah.
Same with, what was the other movie he, was that Game of Death? He did with Wesley Snipes. Yeah. He said the same thing. He goes, they planned it out. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Boom, boom, boom. They came in, and we're not doing that anymore. He said he was so angry and disappointed.
I forget. I believe was that the director who said it, or the producers?
No, I think Wesley Snipes came in, and they changed everything. They said, we're not doing that anymore. It's like, what the fuck? He goes, so we planned this, we rehearsed it, we blocked it out, and now we're not doing it. Okay, cool. Yeah, same thing with Anthony Hickok. Anthony Hickok said that, may he rest in peace, he said Submerged was the worst experience of his career. Because in the beginning, okay, yeah, cool, we'll do a horror movie, we'll do something different. All right, nice. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Oh, no, we're not doing that anymore. Well, why? Well, we're just not doing it. Okay, well, what are we doing? It's like...
Because it's going to be the Thing meets Das Boot, pretty much. The Thing but in the submarine. And then Seagal's like, I don't want to make a monster movie, even though he said yes.
Even though you said you wanted to. It's so stupid.
Or like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
What was the other one? Bay Logan wrote a movie for Seagal, and it was like in World War II, and he was like a doctor, and they were going to do it. Like, they got the funding and everything, and they were going to make it. And then he's like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And then it became, I think, Shadow Man. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck?
Or like what was it, Black Dawn, where the script was not supposed to be a sequel to The Foreigner. Then out of the blue, Seagal said, I want it to be a sequel to The Foreigner. So, couple days to rewrite it. And then he left 18 days into the schedule. And then he's like, fine, if I got to do an interview, it must be at this temple, at this shrine.
Yep.
Just
and
because.
He had to sit in a specific chair, and it's like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, Andrew Stevens said that because he produced it. He goes, yeah, for whatever reason, he wanted to make a sequel, and it's like, okay, I guess. And then he sued him because it was breach of contract, and he like ran up. They gave him like a credit card, and he like ran up the credit card and everything. And it's like, what the fuck? How do you allow people to act this way? Like Shawn Michaels. Vince McMahon would have let Shawn Michaels get away with murder if he had gotten to that point. It's like, what the fuck? Why did you allow him to act this way? As much as I love Shawn Michaels in the ring, it's like he was a fucking child. He was a baby back in the day. And from what I hear, he hasn't changed much. So, I mean, you know, bitch, oh, I don't want to lose the, you know, everybody complains about Bret Hart bitching about the belt. Shawn never lost the belt. He just, I got injured, or, oh, my friend can win it. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I lost my smile.
Yeah, I lost my smile. Oh, my pussy hurts today. I can't wrestle. And then Bret Hart kicked the shit out of him in real life, and then he like quit the company, and then Vince McMahon threatened to sue him, and then he came back. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's funny on a tangent. When things were pretty cold around here, and I couldn't go outside, so I just like for some reason I went on this website called cagematch.net.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, wrestler will show every point they wrestled. So I like looked up all the Bret Hart matches, and you really just, other than house shows, you do. Let me put it this way: if you look hard enough, you find pretty much every match Bret Hart did in the WWF. Because at the WCW, I had heard how bad it was, but then when you look through it, it's like they did nothing with him in that. Nope. It's and like bring him in to be a guest referee to Eric Bischoff versus.
Well, the reason why that happened is because his 30-day no compete clause was not up yet. That's why that happened. Legally, he could not wrestle. That's the only reason why that happened, because his contract with WWF was not up yet.
But wouldn't you bring him in to be like, at least talk and put these little spots in? You know, I remember you used to be a guy named Razor, and I remember you used to like this thing called Diesel, and like have those elements go in instead of.
Nope, he did that. The first thing he did, he came out and he did an interview, and then he was the guest referee. And then he had to come out in the main event because they fucked the ending up. And then, he barely, I mean, if you could look at that, he barely wrestled because, and he says it in his book, he said he would fly to a Nitro and they would be like, well, we don't have anything for you. He's like, what are you talking about? He goes, I just flew here from wherever and you have nothing for me? He goes, well, we don't have anything for you. He goes, then why am I here? I get it. Trust me, I get it.
And the first ones was like against Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect, and those are good wrestlers. Mm-hmm. But it's like there's no history. Well, there's history with Mr. Perfect, but
right,
like there's no like big stories. And then
and then he was in the NWO, and then he wasn't, and then he was a good guy, and then he was a bad guy. It's so frustrating. But you know, again, what killed WCW? WCW killed itself because you let people do whatever they wanted. There was no structure. You were just giving money to people to do nothing. Macho Man's brother got paid millions to stay at home and never wrestle.
Macho Man's brother?
Yes.
Really?
Macho Man's brother got paid, I think, $500,000 a year to do nothing. Because when Macho Man first went there, that was part of the deal. He got his brother a job there, and his brother stayed at home and got paid $500,000 a year to do nothing, to sit at home. Yeah, it's a true story. Any interview you pull up here on YouTube, he talks about it.
So, to ask you, were there any matches Bret Hart had in WCW that you would recommend in any sort?
The Benoit match. He wrestled Benoit. It was the Owen Hart tribute match. That was really good.
Okay.
That was his best match. Actually, any of the times he wrestled Sting was good. He only wrestled Sting. There's another guy who they fucked up with the stories and everything. Anytime he wrestled Sting was good. That one match he had with Mr. Perfect was good. The couple times he wrestled Booker T, those were some good matches. Anytime he wrestled DDP, that was some good stuff. But yeah, the rest of it was garbage, stupid, waste of time. Like, he wrestled Hogan on a Nitro, and then it ended in a disqualification, and then he turned and beat up Sting. It was the dumbest fucking thing. It was the dumbest thing. They put him in the War Games, and he didn't even do anything. He was like in the corner the whole time. You couldn't even see him in the match. You know, and Goldberg kicked him in the head, and then that was the end of it.
Oh, God. For me, it was crap AOL. That's why WCW got sold. They hated wrestling, felt people are stupid for liking wrestling. Well, yeah, I'm sure the people in WCW are like, you like wrestling? What kind of stupid shit is that? You need every match to have 80 people come in and disrupt the ending, so there was never an ending to a match.
No.
Because here's the NWO, break up the fight, DQ, like every other fucking match. It's like,
yep, DQ Schmeeq. Yep, then the 5,000 members of NWO, and it's like, this is stupid.
Wasn't Disco Inferno in NWO?
I think he was at one point. I think another waste of fucking space.
But
Siebes, I don't watch UFC anymore. I lost interest.
Oh, he was in Wolfpack. Okay, I forgot about that.
See, there you go.
It's been forever since I've seen that era.
AOL sold the company, or they shut it down because they pushed Ted Turner out, and they didn't like wrestling, and they didn't want wrestling on their networks, even though the ratings people were watching it. Didn't make much money, especially at the end, but people still watch it. But that's the first thing that they took off was wrestling, and then they took off Joe Bob Briggs. So that should tell you something right there. But yeah, it was. Oh God. When Mean Gene died, it was sad because I love Mean Gene Okerlund. But yeah, nobody coming to his funeral is shitty. You know, all these people that he interviewed and worked with and said good things about, and they couldn't go to his funeral. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, very confusing.
But I mean, honestly, I would rather watch WCW at its worst than what the hell they got going on now.
Yeah, that's true. At least it was not boring.
Yep, but
don't know how
Bret Hart was the biggest mistake they ever made was just pissing that away. You had Because you could have had him come out and say, you know what, I'm the real world champion because I never lost the belt. They could have started off with that, but no, nope.
Who do you think caused? You think that was on purpose, or did they just too inept?
No, it was on purpose. It was definitely on purpose.
Hogan.
Yep, because Hogan didn't like Brett. And you know, people can say, well, they were just stupid. Well, they were, but I think it was more because of Hogan. Because he's like, nope, brother, nope. Because he had so much control and he was in Bischoff's ear and everything. And I'm sure it was other people, but it was mostly Hogan because that's how he was. He was a politician. And yeah, Jedi is correct. Brett did not want to go there, but Vince lied to him and said, "Well, I can't pay you," and that wasn't true because how much you think they paid Mike Tyson to do WrestleMania 14? And Vince did that because he wanted to take the company public and everything. So he pushed Brett out because he was getting tired of him and Shawn, and you know, it's like, well, do I keep Brett or do I keep Shawn? Well, you should have kept Brett, to be honest, because whatever. But if you reverse it, if Shawn went to WCW instead, he probably would be dead because of the drugs and everything else.
Mm.
Yeah, and then they did that. One of the other terrible things that they did was Hogan versus Warrior 2. You want to talk about one of the worst matches ever?
That's a commentary for one day.
Yes, that would be fun. That would be fun. That movie, that match, that whole when they brought Ultimate Warrior in, that was fucking terrible. That was awful.
I remember the bit where Hogan saw him in a mirror, but Eric Bischoff couldn't. But we, the audience, could. So we see Warrior in a mirror, but there it's like there's nobody there, Hogan. I'm like, we're seeing it.
And it was it was a two-way mirror, so he just walked up to it and then he saw like the oldest trick in the book, but it's like, are you serious right now? And then that fucking, remember when he would come up out of the ring or whatever it was?
The smoke?
Yeah, and then British Bulldog got fucked up because he fell on the door because they didn't hide the door, and that led to pretty much his death because he got hooked on painkillers, and that's what killed him. So stupid. And I love, you know, Eric Bischoff. I agree with a lot of things. I disagree, but when he says, well, you know, everyone acts like Ted Turner just gave me his checkbook. He did. Like, that's the thing. He did. Because a couple years ago, all these documents came out of what Hogan was making, and it was ridiculous. Because he got a piece of everything. And it's like, good God.
I remember the Renegade.
Yeah, the Ultimate Warrior ripoff. Yeah, the Renegade. He's dead too, actually. That guy died. But it's like, what the fuck? And that whole thing was embarrassing and it was terrible. And I think he was in the War Games, and all he did was like he jumped up into the corner of the cage, like, and I think he ripped like part of the cage off, if I remember. He didn't even wrestle. Like, he just, it was so bad. Then he had like a tag match, but he didn't do anything in the tag match. It was so bad. So bad. Rick Rude, I loved Rick Rude. He was awesome. Another guy we lost way too soon.
But probably to come to a close. Been on about 3 hours. about
Okay.
11 p.m. on my end. First off, thank you for taking your time on this Wednesday night.
I
What do you have coming
appreciate
up
it.
in the future for
Well, I
people?
appreciate it as always. So the next video will be the other Spice Girls album review. And then I have some more paid requests. I have an article that I'm reacting to, and then I got a bunch of Scott Adkins movies that was requested. So that'll be all what's coming up next, and then still doing certain years, looking at my favorite movies. So we got plenty. We got plenty coming up.
Very cool. As for me, for in the future, just thanks to Lucas, we'll be finishing up the Uncharted Lost Legacy playthrough.
Cool.
Godzilla -1 did watch that, so that review will be coming up. I did enjoy that film.
Cool.
The Marvels, which sucked.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Fred, the movie, which was one of the worst films I've seen.
Isn't John Cena in that? Or is he in the sequel? Yeah. Okay.
He was in the first one.
Oh, God.
I don't know how people thought this guy. I don't know how this guy was popular. I don't.
I ask myself that every day.
6-year-old bitch. But everyone in the chat, take care. You guys have a good night. Be safe out there. Yeah, bro, I got your request. Morgan. I did watch that. That's another film that sucked. It was another shitty film.
Of course
Morgan.
it was.
It's like a Jennifer Jason Leigh was in it, but she had nothing to do. Paul Giamatti was in it, but they only gave him one scene. It was a typical, hey, this girl was made to be a weapon, and she's locked up, and then she goes berserk, and then she's killing people in the facility, and then this twist that you see coming happens with the lead character. Because you could tell, like 15 minutes in, oh my god, she's the same prototype too. Yeah, big surprise. I could tell because she has no emotion.
And we've never seen that before.
Yeah, so the only interest is directed by Ridley Scott's son.
Oh, okay.
And the movie still sucked. But thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.